Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness, I'm up early. I have a lot of things to get done today. And then Debbie and I will be live later on to go over Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love Hotel. So Debbie has some running around to do this morning. So I'm going to do my morning live. But yesterday I was talking about this given sin that was put up for this racist woman. And I'm going to say, well, she said a racist word. I'm not going to say racist woman. Okay. That's kind of rude, I guess. But she raised it up yesterday to $1 million. Now she's at $603,482. She says that her family is in jeopardy and she wants to live in peace. This is the same woman that called a 5-year-old boy the N word several times. And then we come to find out he's autistic. So someone brought up a good point on IG. When George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, they raised, and they're using the racist, and they're saying racist, not me. They says George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin. Racists raised $340K. Shiloh, which is her, when they did this 21 hours ago, she was at $500K. Now she's at $603,482. When Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 people at a Black Lives Matter rally, racists raised $580K. Daniel Penny killed a black man on a train. Racists raised $3.3 million. They're saying all 4 racists and killers got wealthy and face 0 consequences. It further goes on to say that the system isn't broken, it's working as intended. So, I'm going to go set up a GoFundMe, or I'm going to set up a Give, Send, Go. Good morning. I'm going to set up a Give, Send, Go because I feel that I have been singled out and bullied on the internet. So I'm going to go. Well, I'm going to add my sister to it. I'm going to add George to it. I'm going to add Jen. Who else? Who else? We're going to set up a give, send, go account. So we can raise money so we can feel safe in our own homes. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So I just wanted to bring that up. But I'm here this morning because of Ryan Hinton and Robert Hinton Jr. This happened Thursday. Okay? There was a carjacking that happened in northern Kentucky. Within that time, there was a police pursuit. They found the stolen Kia in a parking lot in off of Warsaw Avenue. Okay, this is in Cincinnati. The cops chased the 4 young men, and one young man was killed. Well, Ryan Hinton was killed. And then about 26, 27 hours later, after the father watches the body cam footage of the incident, they release the body cam footage to the family first so they can review it before they release it to the media. The father leaves and he smashes his car into a constable. So let's take a look at this. And to me, I'm trying to hope the father was grieving a lot, wasn't paying attention. He was actually trying to hurt himself and not anyone else. But then again, so we're going to take a look at what happened to Ryan first. And then we're going to take a look at the father. Oh, before I do that, hold on. Let me say good morning. Good morning, Snuggle Bunny. Good morning, Citizen Z Animations. Good morning, Wendy's Front Yard. Keeping it real. Hi, sister. Frank Castle's T-shirts. Good morning. So, I know I'm early, guys. I'm early. I went to bed right after our trivia last night. I went straight to bed. So, here's what we have.
WT News Sub's Danielle Didak heard from Chief Thigi directly. Danielle, what did that video show?
Yeah, Stephen, this all unfolded very, very quickly. We're talking about 6 seconds from the time that officer got out of his vehicle until he shot and killed that armed suspect. So I want to have you take a look at some of this video as I explain to you what Chief Thigi broke down for us today. So she said this all started with a stolen Kia out of Edgewood, Kentucky that was spotted at the complex on Warsaw Avenue. When officers arrived, they saw 4 suspects take off running. Thigi said officers took different suspects.
This is Ryan Hinton. Right here. This is Ryan Hinton.
To follow. One suspect was armed with a gun, and at one point, with officers saying he did hit the ground and that gun hit the ground. That person then ran between dumpsters, and officers yelled out that that person had a gun. Another officer who was chasing another person at the time came in contact with that armed suspect, and that's when that officer fired off 4 to 5 shots. That man was hit twice and then was given medical care right away, but he did die. Officers did find a gun on him with an extended magazine in another in his pocket.
Unfortunately, this is a potential outcome when you interact with police and you are armed with a weapon, whether it's an edged weapon, a firearm, or if you fail to comply, you're armed and you fail to comply with what an officer says. This is where we end up. And it is unfortunate, it is preventable, and no officer wants to go through this. I don't want families to go through this.
Thank you. I was about to say, not just officers, but no family wants to go through this. No family.
But at the end of the day, we have to provide the safest city that we can provide.
Now, Thigi did go on to say that during an interview, the officer said that the suspect pointed a gun at him. He did feel threatened, and he did feel threatened for his life. Now, we also learned that there was another stolen gun found in that stolen car. Lots to unpack here, and we'll have much more coming up for you later on at 4, 5, and 6. Reporting live, Danielle Dindak, WWT News.
Okay, let me stop this here. So the officer said that he pointed the gun at him. What is the officer supposed to say? What is the officer supposed to say? Oh, he was running, and I think they said Tyree Nichols had a weapon and he was fighting with the police. When we know that wasn't true, we saw the body cam. So we're seeing the body cam. We're seeing him running. I didn't see a gun in his hand, but they said a gun was found on him and one was in his pocket as well. Plus, there was a stolen weapon inside of the stolen vehicle. Who steals a Kia? First of all, who steals a Kia? That's what I want to know. Who steals a Kia?
As the community mourns.
We're going to take a look at this accident that Robert Hinton Jr., the daddy of Ryan Hinton, was involved in.
His deputies lost. The man accused of hitting him is still in the hospital.
Look at this. I am seriously thinking this man was trying to injure himself. He was trying to, I'm hoping, well, not hoping. I can't see him being that distraught that you're just going to go out and ram your vehicle into a constable. I just can't see this.
He's facing charges and is in critical condition. WCPO 9 News reporter Alex Knoll breaks down what led up to all of this and where the investigation stands tonight.
Around 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, Cincinnati police say a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy was directing traffic at this intersection of Martin Luther King Drive in Corryville. Police say that's when the deputy was hit and killed by a driver. Police say the deputy was helping control the flow of traffic prior to UC's commencement ceremony.
The officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati.
The deputy was transported to University Hospital, where he later died. That news was announced during a joint press conference with Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi and Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey.
Our deputy had just retired just a few months ago and continued on in service as a special deputy with all of his experience. We were incredibly glad to have him.
There, Thigi made the jarring announcement that the driver, Rodney Hinton Jr., is the father of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, who was shot and killed by Cincinnati police Thursday.
So that is currently under investigation by both our homicide unit as well.
You saw he had his gun up. The guy was running. Now, don't know if he had a weapon in his hand. I can't see it. And I've slowed it down a couple of times.
As the traffic unit.
Police say Hinton Jr. has been charged with aggravated murder. He remains in critical condition at the hospital. The identity of the deputy killed was not released, but the sheriff says he was loved by everyone who knew him.
I knew the man, and I knew what a tremendous, tremendous person he is, and what a tremendous loss we have all suffered.
Thigi concluded the emotional press conference, assuring transparency with the investigation and leaving a message for the community.
Let the processes play out. Let the investigations play out. Keep calm. Take care of one another.
Alex Knoll, WCPO 9 News.
We are starting to get statements in from multiple elected officials. Hamilton County's prosecutor says in part the investigation is ongoing, but if the facts show this act was intentional, as the charge suggests, I will throw the full force of the law at the perpetrator.
See, she's saying if it was intentional. He had just left a meeting with the police, looking at the body cam footage of what happened to his son. I'm thinking he's distraught. He's pissed off. I can't see after what happened to his son. But then they say, an eye for an eye. But this wasn't the man. This wasn't the officer that killed your son. This wasn't the officer that killed your son. This guy had retired. He was still working in a capacity with the police. This is crazy.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine issued a statement a short time ago saying in part, quote, I have been briefed on the ongoing investigation and am sickened by what appears to be an intentional act of violence. We offer our sincere condolences to the deputy's family, friends, and colleagues. And we're hearing from State Attorney General Dave Yost saying in part, this loss, so close to the annual remembrances, is a cool reminder of the many officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. The officers who protect our communities day in and day out are heroes. Now remember, this is all linked to yesterday's deadly police shooting in East Price Hills. So we're taking a close time between when the officers rolled up to the scene and shots were fired was just 6 seconds. CPD laid it out for us frame by frame. The incident, as it played out, saying all 4 suspects scattered when 2 officers in marked cars drove up to a stolen car. One officer chased Hinton, who fell as he was trying to run away. When he did, officers noted a metal clinking sound. They suspected that to be a gun. Hinton then gets up and appears to run toward the other officer on the scene. And according to interviews, that officer said he noticed the suspect pointing a gun at him. Chief Thigi says the officer fired 4 or 5 shots, hitting Hinton twice. He adds that police attempted to administer first aid at the scene.
That was a gun, right?
He felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm. This is where we have to go to the state of mind of the officer at the time. Are they seeing, feeling, hearing?
To be a gun. Hinton then
look
gets
like
up and
blood?
appears to run toward the other
Something
officer
was
on
in
the
his
scene.
hand.
And according to interviews, that officer said he noticed the suspect pointing a gun at him.
Hi, Mr.
Chief Fiji
Mendez.
says the officer fired 4 or 5 shots, hitting Hinton twice. He adds that police attempted to administer first aid at the scene.
He felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm. This is where we have to go to the state of mind of the officer at the time. Are they seeing, feeling, hearing? If they feel like their life or somebody else's life is in danger, they have a responsibility to stop that threat.
Police are searching for the 4th suspect in the case. As for the other 2 in custody, both were in court this morning. 18-year-old Jarrell Austin and 19-year-old D'Anthony Bullocks stood before a judge for arraignment. Both face charges of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business.
Wait a minute. These young men right here, all of that, were 18 and 19. Just threw your damn lives away. You also could have been killed. Akia.
For arraignment, both face charges of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business. It's been a rough 48 hours for local law enforcement, parts of our community. So, of course, our team will be monitoring this.
Now, this man was supposedly
the separate session of the Hamilton County
in the hospital in critical condition. These are the officers that were in court for this arraignment of Robert Hinton Jr. Look at the solidarity. I want you to watch Robert Hinton Jr. I want you to watch what he says or mumbles. I want you to watch this.
The municipal court is now in session. Judge Tyrone Yates is presiding this morning. We ask that you turn off all cell phones. You may be seated. Please remain quiet during all proceedings.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. First case load out to Robert Hinton.
Okay, thank you.
See, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt until I saw this.
Okay, can see my other defender?
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Good morning.
He said good morning, Judge. He's very soft-spoken.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So, he's a very soft-spoken man. From that accident, he's got abrasions on his forehead. That's all I see. But they said he was in critical condition. The driver of the vehicle. That's him. I see abrasions on the forehead. What am I missing?
All right. Anything as to probable cause?
Your Honor, we'll waive probable cause this morning. I have submitted designations for John Kennedy and Timothy Bignell. They will be the attorneys of record handling Mr. Hinton's case. I'll be handling the arraignment this morning.
All right, thank you. Mr. Prosecutor, or anything as to bond?
As to bond, Your Honor, thank you. Your Honor, we understand this is a very, very serious, very terrible charge that Mr. Hinton is facing. He has a risk, but he does not have a history, Judge. He has no felonies in his record. His risk of sentence score was a 1. He had no juvenile record. He works at UDF. He's married. He's a father. He's a graduate of Purcell Marion. I understand that this is an emotionally charged situation. I understand that Mr. Hinton's son may have been killed by the police earlier in the week. There was a review of that video. I understand that there is a lot of sadness and a lot of anger in this room right now, but in the community at large. I would just ask court to set a reasonable bond in light of everything and to allow the our constitutional process to play out.
All right, thank you. Andy, you've given me pre-trial services sheet.
Oh,
Is that right?
which one?
All right, the court has had a chance to review that and his past history. Is there anything from the state through the prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the
Could you
prosecution.
give us more volume, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ryan Nelson on behalf of the prosecution. What we believe that the evidence will show is that yesterday, on or about the 2nd of May, the defendant was traveling, I believe it would be eastbound on Martin Luther King Avenue at MLK, I believe at Burnett Woods, at the intersection, I believe immediately north to the rear entrance of the University of Cincinnati. The defendant stops his car. The defendant, in a way that was calculated and premeditated, lined up his car, deliberately accelerated his car, and purposely caused the death of an on-duty deputy sheriff who was doing a detail at that intersection.
That's when I went, he stopped his car and purposely lined up with the deputy, is what they're saying that happened. I was thinking he was beside himself. He watched his son get killed on body cam, but he got in his car. He left alone, and now the family is being represented by the Cochran law firm. You know, Johnny Cochran.
As such, we are going to be seeking indictment for aggravated murder, and we would request, in accordance with ORC 2937-222, for a no bond hearing. That rule requires that hearing be set within 3 business days, so we are seeking to set that date on the 6th of May of 2025. That will be next Tuesday.
Now, what do you guys think? Do you think he purposely killed this man? Hi, Bonero. He was running away, is what you're saying. That's true, Frank. When we was looking for my daughter's car, the salesman told us that. So, do we think that he honestly, purposely hit this cop? So, the Cochran law firm put out a statement. They said, our firm was hired by members of Ryan Hilton's family to conduct an investigation into his shooting death by an officer with the Cincinnati Police Department. We are in preliminary stages of that investigation. Yesterday, we attended a meeting between the family and the members of the Cincinnati Police Department to view body camera video of Ryan Hinton's shooting death. Ryan Hilton's family, including Ryan's father, was present at the meeting, and they were understandably distraught as they watched the body cam video. After meeting with the police department, Ryan Hinton's father left in his own vehicle. That was the last we heard from him until learning about the tragic incident involving law enforcement officer who was working a traffic detail near the University of Cincinnati. On behalf of Ryan Hilton's family, we offer our heartfelt condolences to the family and colleagues of the officer who was killed yesterday. This is an unimaginable tragedy for this community. Ryan Hinton's family is heartbroken by this tragic turn of events, and we are all devastated for the family of the officer who was killed. Until I heard that part, when that prosecutor said, now the investigation, I understood, was still ongoing. He sat in that courtroom and said he was traveling eastbound. He stopped his car, purposely lined it up. So I guess he backed up, made sure he had a good angle, and decided to run that officer over. Does anybody believe that? I myself, I'm finding it hard to believe that you want to have You want to cause another family the hurt that you're feeling. But then again, someone told me an eye for an eye. I said, but you're causing the death of an innocent person. His son wasn't innocent. Did he deserve to be shot? No. But if the officer is saying, he said he heard a clink clink, sounded like a gun. Then he ran towards another officer, and the officer said that he pointed the gun at him. And he felt that he was in jeopardy of his life, but he was running away. You had your gun drawn. He's running away. This whole scenario is not making sense to me because we heard the body cam. We saw it. I didn't hear not one time somebody say, stop or I'll shoot. Stop, stop, stop. Put your weapon down. I didn't hear any of that. If you heard metal, which they said a gun was found on him, okay? They said one was also found in his pocket and one was found in the Kia. It was a stolen gun found in the stolen Kia. He's running. That's like that young man who lost his girlfriend and he had a ski mask on and the cops chased him. They shot him 70-something times. 50-something of those were all in the back. Then when the bullets were hitting, he turned. It was just bad. I covered that a couple of years back. When come to find out, they had no reason to stop him at all. The judge ruled there was no reason. There was no reason to stop him. Not even a traffic stop. They emptied 70-something bullets in that young man. Good morning, Sarah Mudford and Z. Just so you know, Sarah, I'm doing a give, send, and go because I feel that I've been targeted on the internet. And if Shiloh can raise over $600,000 in less than a week, I expect everybody to contribute to my give, send, go. And I'm going to put names in it on why I feel that I'm being targeted. So I'm going to set that up. Hi, Gypsy. Thank you. Do as the officer commands. But I didn't hear no commands. Did I miss something? Did I miss a command? We heard the running. I didn't hear one officer shout, stop, stop, stop. Put your weapons down. Now that's one body cam. Remember, that was two officers there. So we need to get, I don't know why they didn't release the other body cam footage. Because that's what I want to see too. I think he done what a daddy would do if someone harmed their kids. So in my opinion, it was intentional. That could be true because we remember when that little boy was killed and the guy that was coming through the airport when they were bringing him in, father got through security sometime and blew his ass away right there in the airport. Killed him right there in the airport. That was intentional. That was intentional. But again, we have, I just can't see causing that kind of hurt to another family. Maybe it's just me. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. But we have, I'm going to show you this. There was a domestic violence incident, okay? Domestic violence incident. Found out that the dad's mom had had unalived herself. I guess the dad was going through some type of crisis. He beat his son to death with a baseball bat. And then is he said if he would have got the bat back, he would have beat the daughter to death as well.
We begin tonight with breaking news in Branford, a heartbreaking story. A man charged with murdering a child.
Officials say the victim is under the age of 16. News 8's Bob Wilson live from the scene tonight with the latest from police. Bob.
Yeah, police just announced an arrest. 52-year-old Anthony Esposito.
Doesn't he look like he belongs in a barbershop quartet? Maybe he was out performing. Look at the things on his arm. I think he was out performing at a barbershop quartet, and he ran out to do this coverage.
Murder with special circumstances. He was actually arrested or taken into custody just after this happened, about 45 minutes later, just up the street here. But you take a look here, this is his mugshot. He's been charged with murder, special circumstances, under the age of 16, and also attempted murder. That means there's another victim at the hospital tonight recovering. We don't know the ages, but very young. Police say that it all happened right here behind me in this house. They brought in comfort dogs. The scene is so graphic for first responders as well as for family members if they come by, or any people in the neighborhood or the community who are very upset about this. And tonight, if some of his classmates even stop by.
We are stunned.
It's chilling. There are some rumors going around. Obviously, they're not confirmed.
I hear people 2 blocks away when I was walking talking about gunshots. I never heard any gunshots.
A lot of questions that will come out in time as police investigate. It's a small, tight-knit community on Hemlock Road, a place where everyone knows their neighbors, their families, and their children.
At our pool, the mom and the son would come up. I'd never met the daughter or the dad. But
look at Susie Q. Don't she remind you of Gladys Kravitz, from Bewitched? Doesn't she remind you of Gladys Kravitz from Bewitched?
Sweetest kid ever.
The Branford Police Department has notified the schools in the area, so they will have grief counselors and a crisis team on hand, and they will be prepared for students when they arrive at school tomorrow.
He came off the school bus a couple times. I'll be happy to help you garden if you'd like for me to, And I said, you bet, we'll get a special project and you and I'll work together,
Police say it's considered a domestic violence homicide, and they did take one man into custody. They stopped this van on Route 79 near Durham and placed him in handcuffs without incident. State Police Major Crimes has been called in to assist with the evidence gathering, and they'll be working both scenes. State Police Major Crimes in the parking lot, crime scene tape and evidence on the front lawn.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Horrendous. That poor mother, I wish I could put my arms around her and hold her. It's heartbreaking. I just came back. I was out west all week visiting my grandchildren, and they're that age. And I just got off the plane last night at 11 o'clock, and I'm like, or 12 o'clock, and I'm like, I can't imagine going through this at all.
Now, we were told the rest of the family, mother, daughter at the hospital, the social worker, we don't know their conditions. We don't know much about this. Police are unraveling this right now. State Police Major Crime on the scene as they try and put all the pieces together. We were told that the man will be arraigned tomorrow in court. I'm Bob Wilson, reporting live in Branford, News 8.
So, here's Daddy.
Now, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
I'll show you this one.
Another big story tonight at 5. Police say the Branford murder suspect has admitted to killing his own son.
And today we learned the father claims he heard voices in his head before the murder happened. Your reporter Dylan Fearon live outside the Branford Police Department with more on the disturbing details. Dylan?
Well, Mark, Aaron, Anthony A. Esposito Jr. faced a judge this morning over in New Haven. And in court today, we learned that Esposito admitted to police he took a baseball bat and beat his 12-year-old son, Anthony, to death, then pushed his 16-year-old daughter down the stairs. In a white prison jumpsuit, Anthony Esposito stayed silent as we all learned of the horrific allegations against him.
Parents are supposed to protect and nurture their children. Instead, Mr. Esposito brutally beat his son with a baseball bat, telling police that his son was disrespectful.
Police say Esposito admitted to killing his 12-year-old son, Anthony, in their Hemlock Road home inside this condo complex. He told investigators his son is frequently disrespectful to him, sticking his middle finger up in his face, adding he hears voices in his head of his mother and father, who he claims physically abused him as a child. That's when Esposito grabbed a baseball bat and attacked. After killing his son, police say he confessed to pushing his daughter down the stairs, and if the baseball bat was close enough, was planning to kill her too.
Okay, did you hear that? Hi, Charlie, sending love. Did you hear that? He beat his 12-year-old to death. He unalived him with the baseball bat because he said he was disrespectful, always putting his middle finger in his face, and pushed his 16-year-old daughter down the stairs. He states that if the baseball bat would have been closer, he would have killed her too. Let's hear that again.
After killing his son, police say he confessed to pushing his daughter down the stairs, and if the baseball bat was close enough, was planning to kill her too. His daughter escaped, then Esposito drove off, but state police caught him on the Durham-Madison town line. Esposito's attorney claims he has severe mental health problems, but wasn't taking medication or seeking treatment.
He has had mental health issues since the first grade, multiple psychiatric hospitalizations while in childhood. His mother recently committed suicide, who does indicate severe physical abuse growing up.
12-year-old Anthony was a 6th grader in the Branford school system. His superintendent writing, "This heartbreaking news has deeply affected our entire school community, and there are simply no words that can truly express the sorrow we all feel.
Charlie.
Together, we will continue to care for one another." And
Thank you, Marcia. He looks like Stephen Stearns. In that other photo, he didn't, but standing in court, he looks like Stephen Stearns. And there's more stuff coming out on Nazira Harris, and her family, and how many times CPS was involved with her before her aunt's boyfriend knocked her up and then killed, and then unalived her. Okay? There's a lot more information coming out on that as well.
honor the memory of Anthony. Paul Mancini lives in the condo complex.
It takes the breath out of you, because I have 3 children. I can't imagine ever trying to do anything like that.
Esposito has been charged with murder and attempted murder. He's locked up right now on $3 million bond. His public defender argued it should be lowered to $1 million, but the judge wasn't having it, Mark and Aaron. If Esposito can somehow bond out, he can't have any contact with his daughter and has to stay at least 100 yards away from her. I'm your reporter live in Branford tonight, Dylan Fear in Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
This is what he did to his 12-year-old son. 12-year-old son. This is crazy. He said that young boy was pointing his finger, his middle finger in his face. He was always disrespectful. My thing is, they said that the mother and the daughter were at the hospital. The daughter was pushed down the stairs. If mom was in the home, why didn't mom call 911? The daughter escaped. This man had the nerve to say, if the baseball bat would have been closer, he would have unalived her too. Where was mom when all of this was going on? Was she in the home? We know she's at the hospital right now she was at the hospital with the daughter. Where was mom when this man was beating your son to death with a baseball bat? Seems to me that the daughter was the only one trying to help her brother when he pushed her down the stairs. This shit is crazy. So, I don't know if you guys remember the story of London Thomas.
We begin with a woman arrested and arraigned in connection with the death of London Thomas.
The 17-year-old's loved ones desperate for answers to questions about her death and what happened.
Remember, she was a runaway. Well, not a runaway. Well, I guess you can say runaway. She was watching. See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where was the mother? There you go. There you go. Behind mine. You going out, and I'll gladly take that charge. Gladly take that charge. Good morning, Bambi. I watch all of Gilliard. Nice job. Very nice job.
Happened in the 3 weeks she was missing. Thank you for joining us. For 7 News Detroit at 5, I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Mike Duffy. It's an important update in the case we know so many of you have been following. This exclusive video showing the woman arrested and charged for lying to police officers during this investigation. 7 News Detroit with the only camera in the courtroom for arraignment.
And it's been less than a week since London's body was found in Southfield. At one point, her boyfriend was named a person of interest in her disappearance. He has not been charged.
7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley questioning the defense attorney of the woman charged today. He's also speaking with London's grandmother about this break in the case.
Investigators initially had 2 people in custody with seemingly the hopes of getting homicide charges on both of them. Now they have 1 suspect in custody facing a lone lesser charge. They, however, are adamant the investigation is not over. Charlotte Pendergrass was back in custody less than 3 hours after she was released from the Inkster Police Department Friday. Pendergrass arraigned on a 4-year felony of lying to police as they investigate the death of London Thomas, the 17-year-old who went missing last month and whose body was discovered in an SUV in Southfield last week.
The defendant did knowingly and willfully make a statement or statements to the office that she knew were false or misleading, and that London Thomas left 27262 Carlisle through the front door, alive and well.
Pendergrass was taken into custody along with the 23-year-old man, believed to be a relative, last Saturday after authorities found Thomas's body. They were held for nearly a week without being formally charged. The 23-year-old man was released Friday morning without charges. Pendergrass's defense attorney, Terry Johnson.
Let's go back to a week ago. You know, they were turned in on a homicide charge. And they were held approximately 129, 130 hours, violation of their rights. And, oh, we're going to do something. We've got this, we've got that. And they come out with lying to a police officer. I mean, they are doing nothing but grasping at straws at this point.
Meanwhile, London Thomas's family reacting to Pendergrass's criminal charge.
I could feel it in my heart when I was talking to her that she was lying. When she said that.
Wait a minute. Okay.
London had left.
Justina Martin says Pendergrass's relative was in a relationship with Thomas. She was last seen at a Pendergrass family home on Carlisle in Inkster April 5th.
I want justice for my granddaughter, and I know she lying. I know she had something to do with my granddaughter's death. I believe she killed my granddaughter.
So let me get this right. Your granddaughter was dating a 23-year-old. She's 17. Same thing with Honey Boo Boo. 23-year-old man. She's 17. Got you.
But no homicide charge has been filed against Charlotte Pendergrass. Michigan State Police says its detectives are still working with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and more charges could be announced as the investigation continues. Now, as for Pendergrass, she is facing a 4-year felony, and right now she's locked up on a $50,000 cash surety bond. The Oakland County Medical Examiner is still working to determine London Thomas's cause of death. In Inkster, I'm Randy Wimbley, 7 News Detroit.
Thank you, Randy.
Again, this shit is crazy. The 17-year-old girl was found in the back of an SUV. She had been missing for weeks. I do believe that the boyfriend's mother knows more than what she's saying. Because he was a person of interest, and he hasn't been arrested yet. I personally can't call me a rat. I don't. What? What are we talking about? Hubby came home? Why would anybody call you a rat? Hell, I held a teacher to the wall for throwing a chair at my nephew. Well, I can understand that. I can understand that. I believe that the boyfriend's mother is lying. I believe that Pendergrass knows more than what she's saying, even though she's lying to police. We know that. But I want to show now, let me show you this. This came into my box. Y'all are some real roughnecks. I love it. Now, I want y'all to be shocked by this. This is an Ohio attorney that is now being accused of murdering her client to avoid trying her case in court. This is Eliza Sherman. She was allegedly murdered by her attorney in 2013. This is now just coming out. It says an Ohio divorce attorney has been arrested for allegedly murdering a client in 2013. Now, guys, I don't know about y'all, but if my attorney doesn't want to represent me, you don't have to kill me. Just say, hey, I don't think I want to take your case. That's it. I don't want to take your case. So it says Eliza Sherman, 53, was waiting outside Gregory Moore's downtown Cleveland office when she was fatally stabbed on March 24th of that year. Moore, 51, was the woman's attorney. He could have quit. Though security footage at the time caught a hooded man running from the scene, police didn't make an arrest until this past Friday, when Moore was indicted on one count of aggravated murder, one count of conspiracy, 6 counts of murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. So 6 counts of murder. Has he murdered 6 people? Has he murdered 6 people? You got 6 counts of murder. Who else did this man murder? I'm just like, I'm not laughing. I'm just like, wait a minute. You killed your client because you didn't want to represent her in court. So it says Moore does not have an attorney assigned to his case. Really? No attorney wants to touch you? Suppose they kill you too. And an indictment obtained by NBC News states Moore texted Sherman on the day she was killed and told her to meet him at his office at 4:30 p.m. and to let him know when she was leaving. This is Moore. This is the attorney. There is the attorney. It says, according to the police information, Sherman waited outside the building as Moore, or an unnamed conspirator, approached her from behind and fatally stabbed her more than 10 times. Moore allegedly texted and called Sherman before and after her death. Y'all better watch these attorneys, okay? So, these texts and requests for calls were for the purpose of creating false evidence that Moore was unaware of Sherman's assault. This is what the indictment states, okay? The trial was supposed to start the following day. Sherman, a nurse, left behind 4 children. So Eliza was a nurse, and she left behind 4 kids. In addition to the murder, police said Moore was being investigated for bomb threats sent to the courthouse on days he had to appear in court. Wait a minute. What type of attorney is this man? So you don't want to go to court. You take these people money, but not only do you murder one of your clients, you call in bomb threats on the dates that you were supposed to be in court. Also, to avoid proceedings he was involved with. So he called in, yeah. The attorney reportedly knew cops were investigating him for threats. In 2017, he pleaded guilty to inducing panic and falsification for giving authorities misleading statements as they investigated Sherman's death. Moore is set to be arraigned at the Cuyahoga County Justice Center. Let me get this right. You, the attorney, Gregory Moore, 51. So at that time, he was a young attorney because that was 13 years ago. Well, 2013. That was 12 years ago. He was in his 30s, late 30s, 38, 39. So you killed a woman, allegedly. Okay, so what? I'm going to be nice. Let me say this. Don't come in my chat attacking Bambi. Not at all. You got something to say to Bambi, go to Bambi's channel, leave it on her community tab, or go to Harlow. Don't bring it in my chat. I've asked that and I'm being nice. Please don't bring that in my chat. Hi, Jen. Don't do that. I'm going to say it again. I see what goes on in Charlie's chat. I understand. Okay, I get it. I was about to say that, so what? They block everyone. I do understand that. Bambi, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a word of advice whether you want to hear it or not. Okay? I wouldn't be blocking people. Just let them say what they have to say. But because it seems like they're going to follow you to chats. I don't have anyone blocked in my chat. Well, except John Yates. I don't. I get it. I get it. They block everyone. I get it. I understand that. It is your right to block. But you know how everybody says that the B blocks people and Maria blocks people and talks shit on people? Why do you want to block people if you're going to talk shit on them? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So what? I mean, I get it. I understand. The only way that you can get or anybody can speak to Bambi or whoever is if you catch them in another chat. But it also causes disruptions in other chats. I get it. I understand. I really do. I really do. But my chat is not the one, or Charlie's chat is not the place, especially when we're talking about serious topics and all that stuff, to come in and to attack somebody. That's not right. It's not, I mean, honestly, it's rude. It's rude. I get it. You can't get at her. I get it. I understand. Trust me, I do. I had the same thing happen when the content creator's name that we're not going to mention, but Maria, blocks and she talks shit. I understand. I do. I understand. And I'm gonna agree. If you don't like, but it's kind of hard. See, I'm not even putting my foot in my mouth here, because I can say the same thing to you, Bambi. You're saying, if you don't like me, then block me. But if you don't like them, and if they don't like you, just don't speak on them. I can say the same thing here. I don't like people I don't speak on, but I respond. I don't go live and go, oh, let me just go in here and talk trash on this one and talk trash on that one. No. After a point, I will respond. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. And it's bad. I went to Charlie's chat. I watched that live that morning. The one that happened Monday. I didn't watch it till what, Friday or Thursday. I watched that. I watched it live. I heard you guys up there talking. You know, you were talking about medical stuff. You were talking about her child and his education and homeschooling. And then it all took a turn. I watched it. I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell Bambi. Ignore people. Bambi doesn't listen. And I don't know why people think that I have any type of control over Bambi, because I don't. Bambi's going to do whatever she wants to do. Like I said, I'll watch her content stuff. I love it. Watch it. If I go into a chat where they're just going off on people, before I even say hi, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to come in here because I don't want to be caught up in the middle of this. Well, Charlie, if you want to come up, I don't know if you're going live right now, but if you want to come up, I'll drop the link for you, because this is just got it getting out of hand. Hi, Gypsy. Have a good day in church. Rules for thee. You're right. It is. It is getting old. And it seems like everybody is fighting. Hi, Ethel. Good morning. It seems like everybody is fighting. Yesterday, I wanted to do trivia. I got to admit, some of the stuff was kind of hard. Some of it was easy, but I enjoyed it. So I'm going to try to find other fun games like Wheel of Fortune and do other games, because I am so tired of the fighting and the name calling. I ain't going live today. I would love to join you. Oh my God. Okay, let me drop the link for you. Charlie, I enjoy having you on panel. I enjoy having Lady Red up as well. I enjoy all you guys coming on panel. I really do. I don't have a problem with it. So Bambi, if you want to come up, you can come up as well, because we have to stop all of this fighting. I'm serious. Every single chat I go into, not even in this community, I've not been recent. Oh, my sweetie. You can't have coffee? Wait a minute. Ruski stole Bambi's Ativan after take. Okay, Red Dog. I'm going to remove that. Okay? I'm going to remove it. Don't put that in my chat. Okay? Don't do that. Wait a minute. Where is Ethel? Oh, Ethel, my deepest condolences, sweetie. You have my deepest, deepest condolences. Oh my God, it does. It does. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, Red, I played it. Not even black. See, when I had to go for that upper GI, they told me I can drink black coffee, but no cream and no sugar. Lady Red, I played that. Hold on, let me find it again. I played where it was Montgomery. He was out there stomping her. And then they put him back in jail. Hold on. Hold on. I did it the other morning. He was on the ground beating her. And then they had let him out on his own recognizance, but then they put him back into custody. So I played that. It was in Montgomery, so it was in Pennsylvania. It was in Pennsylvania because he wanted her to abort the child. Hold on. I did it the other day. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you again. I'm going to show it. Trigger warning. So this is the guy that actually did it, and he said it was a lack in judgment, okay?
Hack had made its way on air and social media for days leading up to the arrest. That video was played inside a Montgomery County courtroom for a common pleas judge to see. That judge overruled a lower court's ruling on bail in this case. Now, this morning, Raymond Batista walked into the Montgomery County courthouse seemingly alone.
Raymond Batista.
He did not have a lawyer with him, and the DA's office took him aside, explained to him what the proceeding was for here. This was a bail review hearing in which the district attorney's office had filed an emergency petition to get bail in this case. He had been previously released on an unsecured bond. Monday night, Batista was released without bail, and that decision grew outrage from police, prosecutors, and people who live in the neighborhood where the victim was assaulted. That attack was caught on tape and played in court. The only person not watching the video, Batista.
Without them talking, okay? I had a longer video of him attacking her. Hold on. I think this is it.
Turning to new developments in the brutal beating of a pregnant woman in Montgomery County. We told you last.
Here it is.
Police made an arrest in the violent attack of a pregnant woman in Hatfield, Montgomery County. Raymond Batista is facing a number of assault charges, including aggravated assault of an unborn child.
He was beating
Investigators say he attacked and beat the woman as she left her apartment.
I had the one where.
Let's go to Montgomery County. A man is charged with assaulting a pregnant woman outside of Hatfield Village Apartments. Remember that story from last week?
I heard her screaming. It was really, really bad.
Turning to new developments in the brutal beating of a pregnant woman in Montgomery County. We told you last night that a suspect was.
So I played it. I think it was Thursday when you just hear her screaming and screaming and screaming.
New at 11 tonight now, police have made an arrest in the violent attack of a pregnant woman in Hatfield, Montgomery County. Raymond Batista is facing a number of assault charges here on the 2000 block of Maple Avenue.
But he was beating her. She's recovering. The baby is fine. It's just sad because he didn't want to take care of that child and he wanted her to have an abortion. It's just sad. Red Dog. What did Red Dog say? Good morning, J-Mo. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Let me do this real quick because I really don't have time for this craziness. See, if you can't come in and have a conversation and without all the nastiness, I just turned on subscribers only because this is crazy. Yeah, the baby survived. Well, I can't see what they're saying, but my mods are handling it. No, Chantel, the baby survived. I said it on Thursday. The woman and the baby were recovering. The baby survived. I played it Thursday, and it stated the woman, hi down neck, the woman and the baby were fine. I played it. She was recovering in the hospital. And then they took him back into custody. Oh, okay. You found it on Facebook. They took him back into custody because the woman didn't feel safe with him being out. They took him back into custody, and he has a hefty bond. Because at first, he was just, what was it, 50,000? And he just walked right on out. When the judge saw the tape and heard the screams, that was a no-go. This was in Philadelphia. Thank you. The baby is fine. Thank you, Lady Red. The baby is fine. The baby is fine. I played it. It was on the news. I played it Thursday. The baby is fine. People put stuff out there just for the hell of it. Okay, what case are you talking about? I didn't see that one. I was talking about the one in Philadelphia where he actually beat her when she was leaving her apartment to go to work. Is there another one? Because I didn't hear but another one. Oh, yeah, that's an old one. Yes, those 5 girls that jumped. Matter of fact, they planned the baby shower. They jumped her. Yes, the baby died on that one. That's an old one. That happened last year. They planned this baby shower, and they did it on purpose, and 5 girls jumped her and beat her really bad. Yeah, that's old. This young girl, yep. And these were supposedly her friends. Yeah, that's an old one, Chantel. No, the baby didn't make it in that one. Nope, she lost the baby. Good morning. Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought you meant the one from Philly. That's the one I thought you meant. And I'm not trying to be rude. I get it. That people want to speak to Bambi. I understand that. I really do. But please don't come in my chat and talk about butt pics and all of that stuff. I'm not having it. What is wrong with these people? I have no idea. Hi, Deborah. Exactly. Hospitals, fire stations, police departments, police stations, they're all safe havens. Lady Red, that lady Jessica, the cousin said the baby is fine in the belly and she's getting mental health. Now that's the one I thought where she had lost that baby at. Okay, Bambi. So, yeah, but that one was old, Lady Red. I was still looking at Jessica earlier this morning. She hasn't blocked me at all. But there's Lady Red, did you if you want to come up, you can come up. I was looking at Naked Butterfly yesterday. She's not in a really good headspace. And all she does is sits there and play Lori and listens to Lori all day. Now, I heard Sophie's live yesterday about Lori. I go into Naked Butterflies. I get it. She was walking the dog. Somehow the dogs tripped her or whatever. She goes into this really, really deep depression. And she sits there and listens to everything Lori says. Oh, on the Mendez brothers. The prosecutor said that they should be resentenced. So he agreed to a resentencing. And my husband is pissed and asked if I was going to drag her about the DV scam. Oh, are you going to drag her? I think you should. Well, maybe. No, I think you should. I really think you should. I think you should bring awareness to the fact that she is scamming people. And that's what she's doing. That's exactly what she's doing. She's scamming people. So, the judge, okay, hold on a second. Hold on, let me get this one. Where's the one where the judge said they should be resentenced at? Okay, hold on a second. I think this is the one. Hold on, let me show you this. I haven't been keeping up with them because I've been following Kevin Reed. Yeah, don't drag her. Bring awareness to it. Because she's lying. I would plaster. I was going to ask you about that. I would put it up there because she didn't block me. She blocked you because you tagged villain. They're going to get out, it seems. And that's what I was thinking, too.
Eric Leonard. He was just in the courtroom moments ago. Eric.
Okay, hold on a second. No.
Hi there. So the
okay,
whole
try it
proceeding is now
again,
on
Charlie.
hold.
Let me drop it
There
again.
is
Hold
nothing
on.
that's going to happen for the next few hours. The
Hold on,
judge
let me drop
has
it again.
sent everyone out of the courtroom
maybe I
and is
just
meeting
didn't
privately
see you.
with the attorneys.
Hold on.
The issue that has come up has to do with the motion that we first reported last night, recently filed by the district attorney's office, revealing that a pre-parole risk assessment of both Eric and Lyle Mendez had been drafted by the State Department of Corrections, and copies of that were available to the judge in this proceeding if the judge wanted to review them. Well, the district attorney's office apparently has also received copies of this information, and Eric and Lyle Mendez.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, beautiful. It kept, I don't know if it may have been something was wrong with the link or something, but I even restarted my computer, everything, girl. And it kept saying, waiting on host. I'm like, the host
You
is
know
there.
what? I didn't see you because I was looking at my other screen.
It wasn't connecting at all. Like, I didn't see you, the chat, nothing.
It
So
did the same thing to what's her name when she was trying to come up one day. Oh my God. I can't remember her name, but it wouldn't. Oh, Pamela Barr. It wouldn't let her connect at all.
It kept doing that to me, and I guess because you refreshed the link or something, it finally worked.
Okay, all right. So, have you been following the Mendez brothers?
Yes, and the resentencing. If I'm not mistaken, they have pushed it off again. It was supposed to be April 16th, 17th. They would decide, if they were going to do it or all this other stuff. And then supposedly there is new stuff, and so they're pushing it off again. The brothers are trying to get the district attorney or the new guy off the case because he's trying to basically make it stretch out, trying to keep doing things. Yeah, so the it was supposed to be April 16th and 17th, and now I think they've redone it for June, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well, let's hear what they have to say. Let's listen.
Mendez's defense lawyer in this proceeding, Mark Garrigus, interrupted what was happening in court this morning to say to the judge, if the DA's office were to use the information gleaned from what up to this moment is still a confidential report, the DA's office would have an unfair advantage in court because Garrigus has not been allowed to see this, and in fact the judge himself has not seen this report. Well, the question is, what impact could the information in this report have on the entire resentencing proceeding? After all, the governor ordered the State Department of Corrections and its parole unit to conduct this new psychological evaluation of the brothers to find out if they are suitable for release, and if so, what sort of risk they might present to the public. This is a confidential...
Okay, I don't think they have a risk to the public. I think the risk has already been eliminated.
Yeah, they also say they do things like a lot of the family want them out.
Yeah.
And they've stated that they've been nothing but model prisoners while they're in there. They have helped others, while in there. So, I mean, the only thing you can do is give them a chance.
But the family actually wants them out, except for an uncle, except for Kitty's brother. He doesn't want them out. The brother of the mother. Everybody else, the nieces, the other aunts, they want them out, even on the dad's side. So my understanding, while they've been in prison, they've been model citizens.
Yeah, they actually started programs, and on this, I understand where Bambi's coming from, being conflicted on this. Some people say, well, if the father was doing that, I could understand, going a little crazy on him. And then some people say, well, why did they do the mother? At the same time, if the mom was turning a blind eye to
Yeah,
it,
the
and
mother was
knew,
allowing it, from what I understand. The mother was allowing it. She knew about it. And here's the problem. It wasn't until I forgot the boy band, I forgot the guy that came forward and talked about how their father molested him as well. But when I first heard them say that they were molested, I believed them.
well, they also found a letter that was not. They didn't see on the first trial. The reason that it was a mistrial, or necessarily some people believed them and some people didn't. In the first trial, it was people were going that because they were going for the manslaughter charge because
Yep.
of insinuating circumstances. And then on the second trial, none of that information was allowed into the trial at all. So the
Nope.
documentary TV series that started all this for them to be able to do it, some of that was dramatized, obviously, for TV.
Yep.
If you go back and watch the real trials,
I was watching it. When it was going on. Seriously.
it's a little bit less dramatized. And I will say the Menudo guy came out from the he was in the band Menudo and
Yep.
said that their father was like that.
Yep.
And he had
He
did stuff
molested
to
him.
him.
But here's
So
the thing. How about those two young boys that just got off? They killed their father for R-ing their sister. They went to trial. They were found not guilty due to special circumstances. They killed their father for R-ing their little sister. They got away with it. Well, not got away with it, but they're going to be scarred for the rest of their life. But they killed their father for what he did to their sister.
I believe that if it's in a situation where you're protecting, like they protected their sister, right? And they knew it was continuously going on, and kids necessarily don't think as adults do, right? They think there's no other way. And even in some circumstance, even as adults, we know that if you take that something like that to the DA, what's he going to get? Maybe 5 years.
Yep. But
hey, Michelle.
What about the fact that they were young men? Hi, Shelly Ray. They were young men. Father still controlling them. Okay. Holding money over there. Now, I don't like the way they handled it at all. You were old enough to get away, but you were dependent on that money. You know what I mean? You were looking for his approval for everything. Even when he said, what was it? Who's the youngest? Lyle?
I believe so, yes. I believe Kyle's the oldest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So about 2 days before then, Lyle said, by down that his father had molested him again. These are young men. Why not go to the police? What I'm just saying. But they're saying that, yes, keyword men. Kitty was aware of what was going on, and that's why she was drinking so much. She did nothing to help her son. They were old, yeah, and I agree with that, Bambi. Same thing with Gypsy Rose, okay? I feel the same way about Gypsy Rose. Let me just say this. Gypsy Rose was role playing on her computer, enticing these young men, okay? Men mature mentally around mid late 20s. Some they have showed they aren't They aren't until much older. That's true. But same thing with Gypsy Rose. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gypsy Rose was role playing. She knew she didn't have all these diseases. She's putting on wigs. She's on her computer. Not just that one young man that's still in prison, high Texas girl, but the other guy that that the mother found out about. You went to the point of getting this guy to your home to help you get out. But instead of leaving, you opened the door, let him go in, and unalive your mother. Then you go to a hotel in wigs and all this stuff. She should still be in prison. She was live on TikTok the other day and she was working out. I typed in her chat, "Hi, Mob Rats Exposed."
Hey, Mr. MRE.
I typed in her chat, "You should still be in prison. You opened that door. You allowed that. You could have left. You could have walked out that door with him. You didn't have to hurt your mother. You heard him in there stabbing your mother. You were standing by the door. And then after the fact, you leave, go to a motel, have sex, all this stuff, get on the bus, you're giddy. Gypsy Rose should still be in prison. Texas girl, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. She should still be in prison. That's anybody. I mean, if you want to come up, just let me know. I mean, am I wrong for this, Charlie?
I don't believe so, because here's the thing. Any person, even with the Mendez brothers, right? They didn't have to unalive their parents. They could have walked away at any time, even if they were going to be dirt poor and would have had to work for their stuff for the rest of their life, right?
Exactly.
Nobody has to take that kind of step and go that far. You know, I could understand if you're in a situation where you're in the middle, like this, the case we were looking at earlier, where he was literally in the middle of, if somebody's in the middle of beating someone in front of you to, almost passing away. At that point, you don't have a choice because it's either your life or their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it comes to a point where you can walk away and you have a chance to get away, that's when you make that choice to cross that line.
And she had that chance. So that they were going out, they were going to movies, they were hanging out with their friends and everything, right? They had a chance to get away.
I think that goes down to, that's why people are on the fence about these kind of cases, if you think about it. Because some people look at the mental aspect of these things and how mentally mature and or messed up they were in the mind, right? At that time. And then you go also look at, but you're old enough to know better and get better and you can leave. Why not just leave? So there's like that, where they so like Stockholm syndrome that they thought that was their only way out. It's like with a certain DV cases, right? If we look into some of them, some people believe that's their only way out. But there's always a second way, a third way, a fourth way. So that's why I think these cases, so many people have, conflicting opinions about it. And one part of their brain says, no, you should be in prison for the rest of your life. The other one says, well, we don't know what you were going through while in that mindset. Now with the Gypsy Rose, here's the thing. Do you know the guy that she had do this was like special in the brain?
Yes, so we're not going to say the word, but yes, and she knew this, and I agree with Lady Red. Lady Red said right here, she knew, she was aware of the scams that her mother was doing on the public. She knew, she participated in, she knew she could walk, she knew she can stand up, but she was complicit in everything that was going on.
The crazy part is he'll never get out, and I think they should have done more mental evaluation on that young man. What he did was heinous, right? But
Yep.
put it down to also when someone has the brain of a child and they're easily influenced by someone else, and especially someone he thinks loves him. Now, I do believe they should reopen a lot of, the mental facilities for people like that. And they shouldn't be in general public, because if they can be that easily influenced to do that, they'll do it again, right? But I believe people, there's a lot of people in our prison systems that have should be in mental facilities for the rest of their life instead of prison.
But look at the way she played with what? Her husband, Darren?
Mm-hmm.
That was his name? I think he had a few issues as well.
She knows they are the most vulnerable.
Yep.
And they're easy to influence, easy to take advantage of. And that's why it bothers me when people do that to people with those mental faculty problems. Now, I have a lot of friends who are like that, and I myself tried to protect them because I see it, and I see that they're easily can be used, can be taken advantage of, and I'm like, I they're really good people. They just, because of their mental faculties and whatnot, and because they're mentally disabled in a way, or different abilities, if you want to say it that way, mentally, it really bothers me to see people with criminal minds and messed up intentions take advantage of them and get them to do things they normally wouldn't do.
Okay, let me just ask this question then, okay? Um, we're talking about Gypsy Rose, brother. I remember this family in Sugar Land, Texas, where the young man was supposed to be law school and he was supposed to be graduating. His daddy bought him a present graduation. There was supposed to be graduation the next day. Come to find out, he hadn't been in school in almost 8 months. He had nowhere near. He had been kicked out. He killed his whole family except for his father. The father was blinded. You remember that story?
I don't think I do remember it, but yeah, that's messed up.
And then the father had testified at his trial, and he pleaded for them not to give him the death penalty.
That shows you how unconditional a parent's love is. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, hearing Stephen Stern's parents talk to him, sometimes I'm on the border of, I love my child with everything in me, but could I do like that father did and beg for my child's life, knowing they tried to unalive me? Could I, would it change or warp my perception of my child if they did things like that? Like with Stephen Stearns, as a parent, how would you be able to handle that? That would be hard to know that your child did and has a problem with children, and did something to a child, and think about that. Think about if that happened, how would you be able to handle it? Just like with if we talk about what's his name, the one that ate people, Dahmer. Think about his parents and having to find out your kid did some stuff like that. We all unconditionally love our kids, but how would you be able to handle that as a parent? That'd be hard.
See, but so the same thing can be said. Gypsy Rose is out, right?
Yep.
Mendez brothers are still locked up. So what do you think?
With this, they've already spent 40 something years in prison.
Yep.
If in case if they had got with parole, they would be eligible right now. But at the same time, you got to look at it. They walked in and both parents unalived by nefarious means. And, so it's like, yeah, you may have been abused, but you were at the time, old enough to walk away. I don't know if what they're saying, I was in fear of my life, is a real thing, or if they were just doing that so that they could have the money. You have to weigh that situation, have they did their time? Do you think, like, I think this mental evaluation will be a good thing, and to show their record while they were in jail to see if they can function in society, because they've spent all of their young life in there. Will they be able to function?
So why isn't Gypsy Rose still in prison? I get it. She was, as they said, she was mentally capacitated by her mother. She was emotionally and physically, is what she said, abused. But we can say the same for the Mendez brothers. Except they're older. They were young men. One was in college, one had already graduated. You know, he was trying to be the best tennis player. Hi, my golden girls. He was trying to be the best tennis player he can be. Still, there was manipulation going on there.
That is true. That's why I said it's like you have to weigh both options, and even with both cases, like with the Gypsy Rose things, a lot of people think that she knew everything that was going on and everything else, and she should still be in prison. Then you have some people are on the fence about all the medications what she was under, her mental faculties at the time. So you're sitting there, and as you know, that's why I think it's a great debate topic, because we're debating whether or not they, how long should they be held accountable, what was going on, because it's a 50-50, right?
Yeah.
On one side, you can see the one view of it and you agree with it. And on the other side, you can see the other side and agree with it. Like on the Mendez brothers, they still unalive their mother. And if their father was the main one, a lot of people say, well, they did it to the mom, so therefore they don't deserve. And then at the same time, you could say, well, the mom knew about it and okayed it. And, so then with the Gypsy Rose thing, right? On one side of the fence, was she mentally capable at the time? Did she think that was the only way out? Or does she deserve to spend the rest of her life in prison? You have both sides, and you can kind of, if you look into it, see both sides of the coin and be like, yeah, I would hate to be on the jury trying to decide all this. Because think about all the different factors that come into play.
But I just can't. I'm serious. At first, I was feeling a little sorry for her, right? And then I realized this bitch is disgusting. I found it. His name is John Sutton. This John Sutton is his name. So it's just sad. He was supposed to be graduating from law school. They all went out and had a family dinner. They were celebrating him. And then he arranged for his friends to break in and to attack his family. And he ran off to Mexico. The mother was shot. The younger brother was shot. The dad was shot several times, which left him blind. And he had a death penalty case. The father got on the stand. And I'm going to show you this dad. He's now remarried. And I'm just going to show you this. This is John Sutton.
Everything I could for them. And really, it was my life. I played tennis, I snow skied, enjoyed boating.
Did anything unusual happen around that time?
Well, my practice was expanding in 2000,
Yep, he was a lawyer.
2, 3, and 4. And
everybody's thinking Virginia Giuffre was unalive. Even her dad says that he doesn't believe that she took her own life. Charlie, do you know who Virginia Giuffre is?
What happened with that case?
No. She was Prince Andrew and Epstein's victim. She's the one that started the ball rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow or another, she committed, but I thought she developed cancer too. Somehow or another, she committed S is what they're saying.
A lot of
That's
people,
what they're saying.
I'm gonna say this. A lot of people who come forward about things, they will try to put the S word on them, and really it was, murder and the M word. So I believe that in that case, they probably staged it and made it look that way. That's like if we go back to if we're talking about situations similar to that, a lot of people when they look at Eazy-E, right, they don't think there's no possible way that what he was diagnosed with, the 3 letters, happened so quickly, and nobody else, not the woman who was pregnant with by him in the first when he got diagnosed, she would have been positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was not. Nobody was. And it was within a week or two, like a couple weeks. And he just had a cough, a cold. I believe that the hospital did something negligent and they put something on there. And I believe he had probably, because they said he was bad about having bronchitis because he was, like having bronchitis issues, and he had like asthma. And I have seen this where, because I had an aunt who had, asthma and whatnot, and she went under the knife for a lung draining, and she didn't make it afterward because that's a very dangerous surgery. And I believe that maybe there's a possibility there was some negligence there, and I believe they put it off on that for their own purposes.
Okay, let's hear this.
Attorney are reportedly questioning how she died. Giuffre was a vocal and visible accuser of Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew. She was found dead on her farm outside Perth, Australia over the weekend, less than a month after she made headlines again after posting a picture of herself in a hospital bed saying she had just days to live. There are also now reportedly questions about what will happen to the money that Prince Andrew paid her in an out-of-court settlement in 2022. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
So, hold on. Let's go here. All right, let's see what this...
Everything that is going on in her retrial that is literally happening right now and what's to come as the new trial is heating up. You can find protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted.
Look what she says. I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and general practitioner. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. She did this. She posted this.
I have seen and heard about that from many people that have come forward with certain stories, like even in Hollywood, that they'll put out these same statements, and then magically they're unalived, and it's either blamed on a illness and or suicide. As you know, you have to say it weird over here.
But look at this. This was posted on 2019, though. You see this, right?
Yep.
2019.
Giuffre's lawyer also spoke to UK media outlet The Sun and said, quote, "When I got the call, I was like, are you joking? Because there was no sign that was something she was considering." To understand what Virginia Giuffre may have been dealing with at the time of her death, you have to go back to the beginning to understand how so many people learned her name. Giuffre claimed that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked her when she was a minor. She says that she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew 3 times when she was just 17 years old.
And he paid her off.
This is the now infamous picture that was included in her lawsuit against the prince. It shows Giuffre and Prince Andrew and convicted trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell smiling at the camera in the background. Prince Andrew and Giuffre settled out of court in 2022 after she sued Andrew the year prior. Prince Andrew has denied sleeping with Giuffre. In fact, he denied ever meeting her.
He denied meeting her, but there was a picture of them together. And why would you settle out of court? Like Diddy did. He paid Cassie, but he said he never touched her, never did anything, paid her off, and then the video shows up.
Yeah, you
Why
don't
would
just
you pay somebody?
if you know they have no proof whatsoever, you would not pay out of court. You're paying out of court because you know something's fixing to come up that you don't want known, and you know she has the information to actually win the case.
But the thing is, the same thing with Michael Jackson, with that little boy's mom, with the dad that sued him. That young man came out years later and saying that the dad did it because he wanted the money, but Michael never touched him. Everybody was telling Michael, don't pay them off, don't pay them off, don't pay them off, because you're opening up the door. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's making you look guilty. It makes you look guilty.
But he wanted to go away. It never went. It just got worse. Everybody kept coming at him. He had to go to trial. I said, they may have a case, but I think it's the wrong kid. And I said that from the beginning.
Infamous 2019 interview with the BBC, he said this about Virginia Giuffre when she accused him of having sex with her in 2001 in London.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Giuffre had claimed the prince bought her drinks and they dined together and danced together at a posh, members-only nightclub in London.
He has no recollection. Okay. But what is this picture, Prince Andrew? What is this? What is this? What is this hand? If you're just meeting somebody, would you hug them like that? Or would you just stand next to them? I'm asking for a friend.
I wouldn't be hugging them like that if I didn't know them like that. I'd be standing next to them. I might be shaking their hand.
Yeah, that's kind of intimate, don't you think?
Yeah, he's got his hand around
Prince
her.
Andrew said he never spent time with Giuffre, and he claimed the date she claimed that they were together, he was actually with his kids. He went on to say that he didn't know where the bar was in the nightclub because he says he doesn't drink. And in what was an infamous moment in that interview, Andrew disputed Giuffre's description of him profusely sweating. He said this to the BBC in that 2019 interview.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
Giuffre claimed that she met the prince through Ghislaine Maxwell. The former socialite is now a
I call her Jesseline, but it's Ghislaine.
Convicted sex offender. Here's her mugshot from 2022 at the Metro Detention Center in New York. She is currently serving 20 years in prison on 5 sex trafficking charges related to the now dead Jeffrey Epstein. He, of course.
So do we think Diddy is going to get off?
I don't think so.
Look, Ghislaine didn't. Do you think Diddy's going to get off? Here's my problem with this Jeffrey Epstein case. He got off in Florida. I don't think he K'd himself because he probably thought his friends were going to bail him out again or get him off again. He got off with a slap on the wrist. The first trial he did in Florida. Why would you unalive yourself now?
I think with him that he was threatening someone of higher power if they didn't get him off. And so I think they unalived him so that some information wouldn't come out.
Yep, and then the same thing that Jermaine Dupri, was it Damian Dash? Damn Dash said when Diddy started hanging with Epstein, Weinstein, and who else did he say? He said he wanted no part of that. That's when he wanted to get away from their deals. Dame Dash said that. Diddy was hanging with Epstein. He was hanging with Weinstein. He was trying to get them all in business together. He said he wanted nothing to do with those two men. Maybe he has DID and that whole SRE stuff that the freaky, The freak-offs. Okay.
Course, died in his jail cell in 2019 after he was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. The medical examiner said he hung himself. I want to take a
federal sex trafficking charges.
Here's my thing. How did he get enough something to imprison to hang? You know what I'm saying? Like that takes, you have to have a place where you can do it and have enough force. And
yeah, but you got to remember that he had 2 guards because he was on suicide watch. And both of these guards somehow didn't check on him like they were supposed to. Then they were fired, were relieved of duty, and then they were brought back, but they got a settlement. Does that make sense to you?
No. Why did they get a settlement?
Ooh, Lady Red says she thinks Epstein is alive. Has anybody ever seen a body?
No, I have not.
Huh. That's just like the CEO for Enron. Company collapse. He goes to Colorado to go skiing with his family. He has a heart attack and dies right before he's supposed to go and be sentenced. Nobody ever saw the body for that one either. And they were really good friends with the Bushes.
In 2020 about Maxwell.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did.
In the wake of Giuffre's allegations and the out-of-court settlement, Prince Andrew resigned from public roles with the royal family in 2020. His mom, Queen Elizabeth, stripped Andrew of his royal and military titles in 2022 before she died later that year. It's important to note that now that Virginia Giuffre has died, there could be a court battle brewing over who gets the rest of the money from that out-of-court settlement involving Prince Andrew. The UK media outlet The Sun reports that Giuffre's now estranged husband, who she was reportedly divorcing at the time, could be at odds with members of her family over who could get that money. Now, we started to get more of a glimpse into the challenges Virginia Giuffre was having living in Australia on March 30th of this year when she posted this image with a caption saying she had just 4 days to live. Now, we had to blur some of her injuries due to YouTube policies, but in this picture, you can see the bruising all over her face and her chest, and she's sitting in what appears to be a hospital bed. The caption is 174 words that has brought her story back to the headlines. That caption read, quote, "This year has been the worst start to a new year, but I won't bore anyone with the details, but I think it is important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving 110 kilometers as we were slowing for a turn, no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be a tin can. I've gone into kidney renal failure. They've given me 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies one last time. But you know what they say about wishes. Bleep in one hand and wish in the other. I guarantee it's still going to be bleep at the end of the day. Thank you all for being wonderful people of the world and for being a great part of my life. God bless you all. XX Virginia."
Let me look. Did you see what she said? Lady Red said, "What if he's in protective custody and he's informant on Diddy?" What do you think?
Well, I just looked up and I did see pictures of the supposed quote unquote body. And they're showing that where the ligature marks were is not normal for what someone, if someone were to do that to themselves, because it would be at the top of the neck and it's in the bottom of the neck. And they're also saying that the possibility of the pictures being someone else. So there is actual autopsy photos that you can find.
But are they showing his face?
Yes.
So it is Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, the face looks very similar, teeth, ears, but there is another one saying that there was another gentleman who had a very similar structure. He was just a little bit bigger and the nose is too rounded by some, but the way I'm looking at it, it kind of does, but it does not look like he did this to himself.
I think he was taken out. I don't think he hung himself at all. Okay, because again, he's gotten away with it before. He's got powerful friends. He had Trump, and I'm saying Trump because he They were really good friends. Okay? Think about all these people he knew that helped him with that case in Florida. Think about that. Why would he off himself now? That makes no sense. Okay, let's see what else Virginia has to say. Hold on.
Virginia's end. That statement said, quote, Virginia thanks everyone for the outpouring of love and support. She is overwhelmed with gratitude. Today she remains in serious condition while receiving medical care. On March 24th in rural Western Australia, a school bus hit the car in which she was riding. The police were called, but said that there was no one available to come to the scene. They asked if anyone was injured and suggested if they were, they should make their way to the hospital.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that? She was hit by a school bus. They called and they said there was no one available to come to the scene and for them to get themselves to the hospital.
What?
Let's go back and listen. Like I'm kidding. Hold on.
Virginia thanks everyone for the outpouring of love and support. She is overwhelmed with gratitude. Today she remains in serious condition while receiving medical care. On March 24th in rural Western Australia, a school bus hit the car in which she was riding. The police were called, but said that there was no one available to come to the scene. They asked if anyone was injured and suggested if they were, they should make their way to the hospital. Giuffre's statement then goes...
Did you hear that?
I have never heard of an emergency service saying if a school bus hit a vehicle that they couldn't send nobody.
Not even to check on the students.
I know, right? That's the part that got me. I'm like, not just for her, but the kids. You're not going to send anybody to check on everybody? What?
And then Lady Red has a good point. They have special effects. You see the stuff they do in Hollywood now, right? You see all the stuff they can do. What if there's look? Do you see her comment?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking.
Goes on to say that she actually didn't mean to post this caption saying that she had 4 days to live publicly. Instead, she meant for it to be on a private Facebook page. Australian police told media outlets that no one was reported injured in the crash and the car involved sustained roughly $2,000 in damage and the bus...
But did you see her face and everything? They're saying no one sustained in. Did you hear that?
Because to them, she was a no one.
Saying that she had 4 days to live publicly. Instead, she meant for it to be on a private Facebook page. Australian police told media outlets that no one was reported injured in the crash and the car involved sustained roughly $2,000 in damage and the bus driver had reported the incident the next day. The aftermath...
The next day. The bus driver reported the incident the next day. No one was injured. But did we see her face?
Of that story brought to light a court battle that she was having with her estranged husband, Robert Giuffre. According to People, Robert hit Virginia with a restraining order in February that prevented her from seeing their 3 teenage children. Robert also accused Virginia of violating that order. Virginia accused her estranged husband of physical abuse. Sky News in the UK says the couple separated in 2023. Robert's attorney had no comment for People, who exclusively spoke with members of Giuffre's family. Prince Andrew has yet to make a comment about the death of Virginia Giuffre.
Why would he?
But he has had someone in his corner who has repeatedly attacked Virginia on social media. Her name is Victoria Hervey. She's a model, a socialite, and a former girlfriend of Prince Andrew. Now, when you look at her Instagram, you can see she has a playlist of story posts that attack Giuffre since that bus crash in March. One of the posts read, quote, "The pain caused by her lies, destroying lives and tearing families apart, all for money, is no small thing. She has a lot to answer for. I call this divine judgment by God. People often say karma has a way of catching up." And, quote, as Ghislaine Maxwell put it, Virginia is a fantasist.
What? No remorse for this woman's family. No condolences. Who lied here? Andrew said he never met her.
And she's taken up for the human trafficker.
Yes! What is wrong with these people? What the...
Remember, Maxwell serving 20 years in prison. She is now a convicted sex offender. But even in death, Hervey continues to post about Virginia Giuffre. She posted this with a headline from an Australian media outlet, and she just writes, karma. Giuffre's family did release an official statement after her death saying that Virginia took her own life. As far as what is believed to be a large amount of money that Prince Andrew paid Giuffre after she sued him in 2021 to settle the case, the British media outlet The Sun writes that Giuffre's family and her estranged husband could square off in court in a fight over that money. Joining us now to talk more about this case is civil trial attorney David Ring. Thank you.
Apparently a serious car accident involving her being hit by a bus. And it turned out, she said she was having renal failure, and turns out the bus accident maybe wasn't as serious as it was portrayed. So there was a lot of unanswered questions a month or so ago, and we were all concerned about her. I remember talking about she's having some mental health struggles, and we all hope she gets the help she needs. And to see this happening, a month or so later, it's just very sad.
What do you make when Virginia Giuffre paid Giuffre after she sued him in 2021 to settle the case? The British media outlet The Sun writes that Giuffre's family and her estranged husband could square off in court in a fight over that money. Joining us now to talk more about this case is civil trial attorney David Ring. Thank you for taking the time to.
I think it's what we know is apparently there was some pills involved, and that she may have overdosed on pills. Was that intentional? Was that an accident?
Well, they said Marilyn Monroe overdosed too, but then it was that the Kennedys had her, unalived. Because she was not only screwing John, but Jack too.
A lot of people, accidentally can overdose on pills, or did she do it with the intention to kill herself? We don't know. And I think the lawyer was expressing shock that it happened and that it's being characterized as a suicide because, according to the lawyer who apparently had talked to her a lot, she seemed to be in good spirits, was looking forward to things on the horizon in her life. And this just came out of nowhere. So I understand
the lawyer said that she was in good spirits. So do we think she committed S, or do we think it was an accidental overdose?
It could be possible. It could have been an accidental, but it also could be that somebody gave her intentionally something that was too powerful.
Yeah, so Monica got off lucky, but the other one that was seen, that senator, the young girl that was found up on in DC at that park. We used to walk through there all the time. She was found there, and she was dating this senator, and she somehow managed to be unalived, and we still don't know who killed her. So yeah,
the shock she feels.
Yeah, and we understood since that post on this bus crash, there were questions about how serious that crash was, and then why that post was put out on social media. But then all the details come to light of what had been going on in her life in Australia with her husband. They separated in 2023. What stood out to you in the back and forth she was having with her now then estranged husband, and how that potentially led to some of the challenges she was having?
Well, again, a lot of unanswered questions here, but what we seem to know is there was a lot of marital strife that was taking place in the last months or even last year or so.
I don't think I'm sorry. Let me just, hold on. Let me put this in here. You guys can finish watching this. I don't think that she unalived herself on purpose. No, not when she says that she wants to see her babies. What do you think, Charlie?
I don't think that she would intentionally do it. I believe that either A, it was accidental, or B, somebody did something to that lady and they're covering it up.
I was trying to find her father's statement. That's what I was looking for. Because her father said he doesn't believe that she did this to herself.
A lot of these times, if you notice, like with a lot of this stuff, there's the possibility, like even, what they said with MJ, right? Some people believe the doctor intentionally did it. Some people believe that it was accidental and it was just too much. There's a possibility with this, either A, they gave her a medication that was too strong for her body, or with her health conditions, maybe she mixed it with another medication. But then there's also the possibility that they intentionally gave her, a dosage of things that obviously they knew she should not have been taken together, and or somebody intentionally gave her or put something in her drink. It
Yeah,
could
but
be a
why
lot
would
of
they
things.
do that now, though? Why would they do that now? Because Giuffre is already deceased. Ghislaine is serving 20 years. What's the purpose of taking her out now?
Maybe she had more information.
Could be true. Because they just they released all of this stuff on Epstein. I didn't see anything too shocking. But okay, that's a thing. But the thing is, we were actually talking about the Mendez brothers and Gypsy Rose until that came up. We all seem to feel the same way that Gypsy Rose should still be in prison. She's out living her best life. People have paid for her to have plastic surgery for her nose. She's got her teeth in. She's at the gym. She's on this lifetime thing. She's making money off of killing or being complicit in her mother's death. And
She didn't take any responsibility.
Nope, she did not. She did not. That's my thing with her. Same thing with Casey Anthony. Okay. We know she was found not guilty. And that was all because of the evidence. Do I believe she had something to do with her daughter's death? Yes, I do. They couldn't prove it in court. So it says, beyond the shadow of a doubt, when the medical examiner can't tell you how Kaylee Anthony died. There was the thing about the tape around the mouth. There was this. There was that. That came from her being in that bag. They said that they found chloroform, which wasn't chloroform. It was the body gases. So again, we know she did something to this child. Well,
whether it was accidental or intentional.
Yes. Was it? Yeah, see, that is what we don't know. But again, people were up in arms because she was found not guilty. It was because of preponderance of the evidence. It's the reason she was found not guilty. Wasn't because she's innocent. The evidence just wasn't there. That's it. Evidence wasn't there. I'm just trying to figure out why. So that young man that killed Blanchard, he's still in prison. What did he get? Did he get 40 years? Do you know, Charlie? Let me see. I think Charlie lost.
No, I had somebody walk in, so I had to move up.
Okay. How many years did that young man get?
Which case? For
Nicholas. That's his name. Nicholas Goodjohn. How many years did he get?
Nicholas Goodjohn. Oh, you're talking about the guy from the
guy that killed Dee Dee Blanchard.
He got life. Yeah, he got life and no possibility of parole. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go back and check right quick, but if I'm not mistaken.
No. That's fine. But I know that he had filed some type of appeal a few years back. But
Oh no, it says right here. It says Gypsy did plead guilty. Let's see. Both were arrested. Nicholas Goodjohn pled not guilty to first degree, but received a life sentence after being found guilty. Gypsy did plead guilty to the second degree and was sentenced to 10 years. Her sentence will come to an end in 26 and will be eligible, which we know she's out now in 2024. Goodjohn's prison term, however, isn't eligible for parole. So he won't ever get out. He'll spend his entire life. He will not get a possibility for even parole.
But it's like she just forgot all about him, just like she did the guy she married that was putting money on her books. Wasn't the guy she married a minister? Hi, Gwen. Was he a minister or something? The fat guy.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember what, he was. Because here's the thing. She jumped around on him, and he was just like, wee, boo, gone. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Gypsy Rose ex-husband. Was he a minister?
I can't remember, but he had something to do with the church because she met him through the church group.
Yeah, I do remember that. Let's see. Her ex, you talking about Ryan Scott?
Yes, whoever she married.
And that's while she was still in prison, yes. I'm sitting here seeing if he was a minister or...
Okay. Gwen, oh my God, can you guys drop your milestones for me, please? Could you drop your membership milestones, please? Oh, he's a special ed teacher. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But girl, these things, but my thing is with her, she shouldn't be out. I'm sorry. She just shouldn't be. And I said it to her. I said, you should still be in prison. And she looked right at my comment. And she looked up. Then she goes, guys, I'm going to be going to the pool now. And I'm going to go cool off right now. So I'll be back. I don't think she ever came back. I said, you should still be in prison.
And at the very least, let's say, she got out or whatnot. She should have at least taken responsibility and, went to therapy and all these other things, because you got to think, doing something like that leaves a scar on you for the rest of your life, right? And taking responsibility for your actions and saying, yes, at that time, I was going through a lot and blah, 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 whatever you got to say, but acting like you had no part in it whatsoever, knowing you did, no. Take responsibility for your actions. That's, because she's acting like she did nothing at all.
I don't even know if she still talks to her dad and her stepmom, because you remember before, the reason why she didn't communicate with them was because of Dee Dee and all this other stuff. And then when she got locked up, the dad was, but after she's come out, have we heard anything else about the dad and the stepmom?
I haven't heard her speak about them. As it, like, the last that I heard is that they don't even speak.
That's what I heard too, and I want to make sure. Chantel said that she's in jeopardy of losing her child, or she might. I don't understand what jeopardy she's in of losing her child. Is she doing anything to that child? Is she doing anything to the child?
In my opinion, with the situation with her mom and herself, I don't think she should have custody of that child. That's just my personal opinion.
But you just can't take somebody. Okay. So Snuggle says she has been seeing them. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, sweetie. You just can't take somebody's child, because you have to have cause to take that baby. She said she doesn't consider herself a murderer just weeks after being released on parole. She doesn't think of herself as being that because she said she didn't do it. Girl, okay, whether you did it or not, you facilitated it. Does she not understand that? She facilitated her mother's death when you could have opened that door, had your bags, go to the motel, or just go straight to the bus station and leave. You didn't have to have that man stab your mother 14 times. Jennifer, I miss you. I miss you, but I'm so glad to hear you doing okay. Can you guys just, yeah, if you can drop your membership milestones, I really would appreciate it. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But with all of the stuff that's going on, what do you think about her book deals? She's profiting off of this.
And in one sense, it goes, you're profiting off of your mother being unalived. In another sense, what do you do after prison if you don't have a good job or an education? So the media wants it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I would want that kind of recognition. I would try to disappear from the public eye if that was me.
So they're saying that Casey Anthony is coming to the public because she's jealous of the attention that Gypsy Rose is receiving. What do you think?
On that situation, I believe that Casey Anthony is trying to come back for the attention because she does see that social media and her having such a public case can get her paid. And she's like, well, if she's getting paid, why can't I get paid? And I believe that it does have to do with money because why would she just all of a sudden randomly come back? That's also very, very weird. But also in the public of court, in our most people's eyes, right? Casey Anthony did it or had something to do with it, and a lot of people don't like her for that. Why would she also try to give legal advice?
Oh, she's an advocate for DV and she wants to be an advocate for her child. But here's the thing, Wisco Gal said it. Charles Manson didn't commit any of those murders either, but he served life in prison. He had everybody else do it. He served life. Why can't she? She facilitated it. I think people were feeling sorry, still feeling for her mother did this and her mother, munch out. No, girl, because I'm scared she's going to do the same. I'm going to tell you what I think she might do. Her mental is not there. She's still childish in a lot of ways. Her mental is not there.
That's what worries me about her having a child is, with her having gone through that situation, and if you don't get the correct therapy and the correct mental health, and now you're raising a child, what if you do A, the same thing that was done to you, or B, worse? What if you snap again and now this innocent child is right there in the crosshairs? That's what worries me about the baby. You know what I'm saying? If she's a good mom, she's a good mom. But at the same time, you got to think this is what happened with her is very mentally scarring, right?
Yeah.
And when you take a life, I don't know because I've never taken a life, but what I've heard from, like when we heard from Jeffrey Dahmer and others who have said these things, it becomes easier the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth time. What if she starts doing something to this child? That scares me.
But do you think she knew that that Nick, what's his name, Good John, was mentally incapacitated? Do you think she preyed upon him for that reason?
I do, and in one sense, I feel bad for him. In another sense, I don't, because he still carried through with it. I know a lot of mentally incapacitated people who never would do something like that, right? But then at the same time, I'm like, how bad was his mental incapacitation? They never really went too much into that. In fact, it's like he got the keys. Gypsy got all the, people paying attention. And
hey, Charlie, look in the private chat real quick.
I got you.
Okay.
It's basically like she got all the press, all this other stuff, and he just got thrown away, and he got the keys locked up on him. We don't know how bad his mental faculty problems are. Really, truly don't. They never did, I don't think, a true mental evaluation on him. to see he could have the brain of a 5th grader. He could have. You got to think about those things too. So, I do believe. I do believe that. And you know, what do y'all believe in, chat? Do y'all believe that she literally preyed upon this person to get what she wanted out of him, just like she's done with husband number 1, number 2, and pretty much every person in her life? It looks like she, you know, you got to think, if her mother had Munchausen, right? And let's say that she used, you know, she got used to being doted on and all this other stuff. She also is, like, if you look at narcissistic abuse, there's a such thing as called narcissistic abuse syndrome, where you start either repeating, like saying I'm sorry too many times because you're always made to believe you're the person who did something wrong, right? You have mental problems yourself from the abuse, right? And you start perpetrating it on other people because you expect it to be your norm at that point. And that's what worries me with her, is that with what her mother did to her, that is a norm for her. And I believe she used that guy, and I believe that any person who comes into her life, she's going to do the same thing until she gets mental help. And I hope that she's going to see a therapist. I really do.
I don't think. Okay, I know she was allegedly having therapy when she was in prison. Okay, but my understanding was that she was being babied by a lot of people while she was in prison. Did you hear that too? You know, they
Yes.
took her on and she was getting sympathy from all of these people.
And I believe that she's going to continue, because that's, if you think about it, that's what her mom did to her, right? Babied her and did all this stuff. And that's what she expects everyone else in the world to do. And I think that I'm with Lady Red on this. She groomed that Nick guy for years. He told her no for years until she broke him down. And maybe
he just wanted her to run away with him.
What he truly believed that her life was in danger.
Yep.
And that was
okay.
the only
Chantel
way.
just posted this. This is them in a motel after they K'd her mother.
He's eating a brownie.
I remember this.
But later he will be eating me.
But later he will be eating me. Yeah, she sounds like she has remorse for killing her mother.
Rose Blanchard recorded this video of her and her ex, Nicholas Gaudejon, laying in a bed at the Days Inn nearby her pink Springfield home, where she had lived with her mother, Dee Dee. Just one day after Nick brutally unalived Dee Dee. This video is quite bizarre, considering only 24 hours ago the couple had carried out their unalive plot that they had been planning for months. In this moment, Gypsy does not seem to have a care in the world, and seems quite happy, actually. Laughing and joking. Gypsy later on in a documentary did state that she wasn't coherent during this time, and that was the main reason for her odd behavior captured in this video. Nicholas would go on to receive life in prison with no parole, while Gypsy only received a 10-year sentence.
Let's listen to this again.
He's eating a brownie. He's eating a brownie. But later he will be eating me.
So let me get this right. You're mentally whatever, but yet you know about him eating you, and he's eating a brownie, and she's playing off of that, then he's going to be eating her. She groomed that young man. She knew exactly what she was doing.
And that's the only reason I have, like, you know, when I look at the situation, I feel super bad for him, because this man's going to spend the rest of his life in there. And I believe that there should have been, you know, more harsher penalties for her, even if he carried out the act, because I think, in my mind, and this is just my personal opinion, that she groomed him for a very long time to think that that was their only way out, and he could only save her by doing that one thing. And with him being so special needs, it was easy to influence him. I've seen this happen with people with, you know, mental disabilities. I have a friend who He went to this one church and they were teaching him hateful things, right? And so he
Yep.
started to believe it to be true and was even willing to cut off his own family member who never did nothing to him just because they were trans, and he didn't believe in that. And I had to talk to him. It's like, look, do you still love that person? Yeah. Are they good to you? Then why would you do that? Right. And I said, I would never tell you what to do, but I'll give you some advice and you can choose to do what you want. With him, I've always had to look out for him because other people can easily influence him. I've seen people influence him to do drugs and all different other kind of things, right? And so
Gotcha.
I've had to be that person of reason that goes, hey, these are all your options. You choose. I'm going to give you the facts of life, and try to help him see sometimes when things are bad influences. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so with this, it makes me think that he had that same problem and
but
she
he asked
exploited
her
it.
to run away with him. I think she told him that her mother would always find her. And the only way for them to be free is if he was to unalive her mother. And I think that's exactly what she told him. I haven't seen that testimony anywhere, or maybe I did, and that's where I'm remembering it from. But she had him under the impression that her mother would always come and find her.
Oh, did you see
Oh
that
my
chat?
God.
She gave him a brownie. Aesop said she got the brownies to cheer Nick up afterwards since he couldn't stop crying. He was super upset about the situation. And he has taken responsibility.
Yep, he has.
Even if he is special needs, where she didn't.
But so look what so with Chris Watts, okay, when he killed his wife and his 2 kids, his girlfriend was well aware of what was going to be going on. Her father was the sheriff or a cop or something. I think she said she had no idea, but some text messages were released and it shows you she had an idea. My Gwen. Hi, Sassy. Good morning. We've been talking about murderers, killers. Who we were talking about the Mendez brothers. We are talking about Gypsy Rose now. We talked about Casey Anthony a little bit. We talk about Prince Andrew, Epstein. We were talking about all kind of stuff. I enjoy talking to Charlie.
I enjoy having stimulating good conversations with amazing people like you, Miss Heidi.
Oh my God, girl, stop. No, but I really do enjoy your chats, and I'll come in and I'll say hi, and then I'll be listening. But I really enjoy your topics that you have over there. And if you guys can drop Charlie's link for me, I really would appreciate it. Charlie really, really has great conversations. And you know who else I like? I like Arkansas and Watch Your Crazy.
I call Arkansas my gangster sauce.
Yep, but oh no, Just Blaze is gangsta. Okay, Just Blaze is gangsta.
Oh, I love me and Just Blaze have known each other for years, because we're part of the same sector.
Yeah,
and she's got a great heart. She loves doing her planting. So if you like gardening, that's who I would say go watch for that.
I watch her little short videos that she does. But Shamar was live last night, girl, and Shamar was on a dragon binge last night. Okay.
I love him. I call him my pastor, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's a joke. There was a person he was beefing with, and he did a repass for him. And I even got up there and sang a little something. And there was a lady who gave us some preaching while we was there, and it was just a good little show. So from now on, if you see me in chat and I joke with him and I call him Pastor Smart, that's why.
I got you. But I like her name is the Church Lady. I like her too.
Church Lady's good people.
Yep, I like her too. Yep, I like her too.
Sang.
And Aesop's is right here, okay? Oh, damn. They just put an ad in here. Aesop's is right. It says once they plead guilty, the prosecution stops looking into stuff. That's true. I don't like that. That's like the Murdaugh case. I covered that when it first happened. I knew that man was guilty. I think his brother knows a lot more. But once he, was, I don't think, and I think Buster has something to do with that young man's death. I still feel that way. And hopefully he goes to trial too. I find it odd after they plead guilty, the prosecution stops, and that's sick. That's sick. $5 tips and IRS is all over her.
I'm gonna tell you, Madeline Soto case is one that it really bothers me because Madeline's mom is basically getting away with knowing what this dude did
But
to her
we don't
child.
know if she's getting away with it.
She got a thing to where anything she says can't be held against her in
Yeah,
a
but
court of
it was
law.
okay, it's not hold on. It's like a proffer, it's a special immunity thing, but it's open. She still could be charged.
I hope they do. I hope she gets charged because she was more worried about him getting a lawyer than her child. Even the police officers had to say something about that to her. And I'm like, you sent a man. Why? First off, why didn't the 13-year-old have the bedroom with the locked on the door? If you looked at those pictures,
Yep.
there.
So she had two other roommates. What was it? Three. Well, it was 4 bedrooms. I think she had two other roommates. But here's the thing with that. James. Hi, James. Good morning.
That's my hubby. Hey, hubby.
James is not. James is good looking. Hey, James. Look, James good looking.
That's my sweetheart.
Let me stop. But with her mother, when she came out of her mouth and said, the sex wasn't bad, but the murder was. What?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like she was even shocked. Did you see how they were telling her about the pictures that were on his phone? Did she look shocked to you?
Nope. And she also, I mean, come on. She sent them up to bed in a room. Why was a 13-year-old, first off, why was her bedroom in the living room area with just a little divider? Why didn't she have that room with the locked door so she could lock her door? And why do you send a man up to bed with your child?
Well, that wasn't her first time doing that. Marty, my baby, good morning. That wasn't her first time doing that. Charlie, Marty here. Her son is a firefighter in California, and he was fighting all of those blazes that was going on at the beginning of the year.
Thank you to your son for his service in the firefighting, because that's we got to thank everybody who does things to help people out.
Yep, her son was right in the midst of all of that. And I mean, whenever I was how's your son, how's he doing, and because of what was going on there, all these fires are being set, and he was right there. Yes. And Giuffre is here, but Giuffre is in Canada. She has a little farm. She has horses and all kinds of stuff, and she rides. And Giuffre is a great. When she sends me pictures of her coats or her little, she has a nice farm. And
she's got baby horses.
Yes, she does. And I love when she sends me pictures. But she's just getting out the hospital. She's been hospitalized for a bit, and now she's on the mend. But she takes care of the animals, and I think is good. I think is wonderful because her son and his wife and the baby lives on the property as well. So she has this nice spread. It's nice.
I'm going to keep you in my prayers, Miss Giuffre, and that you continue to remain healthy, because prayers do work. I'm going to tell you something. If you don't believe in miracles, hey, how you doing?
Charlie, look, let me tell you, every time I see your picture, right, I'm trying to think of who you remind me of. One day when I looked at your picture, I thought of Charm with Shannon Doherty and all of them. That's the picture that you remind me of right there.
In this picture, Miss Heidi, I got my good angle because I got fat, chubby cheek syndrome. A lot of people in real life say I kind of look like Adele because I got the fat, chubby cheek syndrome. When she was fat, not when she was skinny.
But that picture right there, you remind me of Shannon Doherty by the eyes. Sophia. Is it Sophia? Sophia Fowler. Sweetie. I'm not discussing Bambi, Okay? I don't really care. Bambi ordered a hit on 55 people. Don't put that in my chat. Please don't. You got an issue with Bambi, I'm going to say it to you as well. Take it up with Bambi on Bambi's panel or in someone else's chat. Don't bring it in here. Okay? I don't care what Bambi orders. I can care less. Okay? Don't do it. If Sophia comes back in the chat and puts anything else in here about Bambi, please remove her. Okay? All right. So, yep, she says thank you. She believed in the power of prayer.
It does work. I'm gonna tell you something. They told me, I don't know if you probably heard me say this story before, Miss Heidi, but when I was 20 years old and pregnant with my first and only child, I went into complete liver failure.
No, I never heard that.
They called in my entire family and basically stated that either they completely said I wasn't going to be here, but it was a 50-50 shot on him because he was a 27. I went into labor at 27 weeks. My son was born in January. His due date was in April.
Oh my goodness. I never heard that, sweetie. I never, ever heard that.
So if people don't believe in miracles, that's why I say you're looking at one, because if it wasn't for the power of prayer and prayer chains and churches praying for me, I probably wouldn't be here today, because the doctors still can't explain to you what happened to me, why it happened to me. I didn't get a formal diagnosis of any of it. The only thing they could figure out is sometime during my pregnancy, I got a head cold and my immune system tried to attack baby. So baby created excess fluid. Excess fluid caused the liver failure.
Oh my goodness.
I looked like I was pregnant with triplets at 6 months. Like I gotten a lot of excess fluid and didn't know it. And
look, I'm sitting here thinking, God, I would love to see that picture, but I'm just thinking in my head, I don't want to see the picture.
Let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you, this is how bad my stomach got. I had to wear, my dad's a big guy, right? So he had a jacket that was a 4X. I had to wear it, all my shirts would never cover my belly. And how many times I accidentally closed my stomach in the refrigerator because I wasn't used to having that big of a stomach. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Girl.
And yeah, so they thought I was going to, not only with the liver failure, but your liver is responsible for clotting. Well, when you have babies, what happens? They didn't think that I would, they thought they would have to rush me to the ER, to the, up to the, where they do the surgeries and stuff. Not ER, but, whatever that part's called. Anyway, they thought I wasn't going to make it, that I was going to hemorrhage. And thank God I'm still here. Liver healed itself, but I have scarring for the rest of my life. So.
Look, Mari, exactly. Chantel just said she's found a video where Nick says that Gypsy planned it all. Of course she did. She manipulated that young man. Of course she did. But here's the thing. So Charlie is not going live today. Okay. But Charlie does morning coffee. I'm going to tell you this. For the next 2 weeks, I am gone. So Charlie does morning coffee. She really has really good topics. Check her out. I'm not going to be here, but I'm
going to be sad because I wake up. See, before I go live, I come over here and I get my life, and then I go live at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Come back.
See, so I tried to look. So since I know that you do morning coffee, and I thought it was funny that the name of your show was Morning Coffee. I was like, she stole my damn name. I said, but she didn't even know me. But I love that because
here's something funny. I didn't know Miss Bambi at the time, right? We both had Wellness Wednesday, right? And then
I realized that. Yes.
I was like, what? I was like, there was a lot of things. We even did, at one time, I did F Around and Find Out Friday. But I changed Friday up sometimes. I also have Freaky Spooky Friday, where we talk about, ooh, scary story. Urban legend.
But Charlie, what I want to do is, I caught Eric Foss live, I think yesterday. I was cooking and he was live and I was looking for something to watch. Yeah, that's Eric Foss. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I am.
Eric was on. This man was pissed yesterday. Did you hear his live yesterday?
I didn't hear any live yesterday because the reason I'm not live on Saturday and Sundays mostly is Saturday is the day I give all that time to my husband, and it's just for him. And I'll be here and there, but like that's why I missed trivia because we were watching movies, and
no, that's fine.
But then Sunday is Geek and God Day, but today my D&D got canceled for 2 weeks. So I'm able to be here. Oh no, it's okay. It was because one of our players just got out of his college thing, so I'm happy for him.
Bye, Gwenny Pooh. Now Gwen and Gwen has been with me forever. Forever. She had Gwen always tries to point me in the right direction. She does. And she's like Sherry. They see something, they say something, and then they make sure I'm aware of what's going on around me. But when I went back to finish listening, it wasn't there. Heidi, in the Latin community, it was said the father had Colombian ties and would have them killed. What? Would have who killed? What am I missing?
I think that's the Mendez brothers.
Oh.
Am I right?
I didn't know that. She is a narcissist. I just happened to come across her on TikTok. I don't follow her, I don't think. But I was scrolling through and there she was. And I was in the window and I'm watching her and I just got sick to my stomach and I went in that chat and I said, you should still be in prison. That's probably
what happened on Eric Falls. What happened was I missed it.
Oh, Eric was talking about AG. He was talking about how she's hypocritical. He was just going off. He was calling this woman names. I was like, wait a minute, what? And girl, it was the one he did yesterday. And when I went back, because I got a call and I didn't finish it all, and it's not there. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. But when I tell you he was going off, I'm going to see if it's there now. Let me see. Nope, it's not there. I think maybe he took it down. I saw one live he did I caught a replay of the guy from prison, the guy he interviewed, and I thought that was a really good interview. He was a friend of his. So I saw him live one day and I went in the chat and I said, hi, I enjoyed your interview. And because I thought he really did a good job on it. And next time I see him live, he is going the fuck off.
Well, I stopped watching him for when someone went real life on me, he tried to say it was my fault. So I was like, I'm just not going to pay attention and watch then. So
see, I don't know anything. I just happened to be scrolling and I saw this prison, he just got out of federal.
I think he needs to pay attention to that kind of what you just said, those interviews and stuff. I think that's where his great content lies.
It was a great interview. It really was. And I had no idea this guy had been in federal prison. I'm talking about Eric Foss.
Yeah, I think that he could bring so much. He has a great, there's people who just have a great personality about him. They can do great content. And I believe that's something he should lean more into. And I understand drama sells. I get it, but I believe that his real content lies in that. And I think he could do a lot with that because I don't know nothing about jail, but would love to learn about it just to hear stories of what do you do in there? There's a lot of us who have never been, but we're curious about, what's it like in there? What's the, how do you survive it? It's just thinking of the minds of, as we were talking about Illers, yeah. Right? A lot of us are curious about that stuff. So I think that he should do more into, lean more into it and tell about jail life and how it works and what do you do in there and all these things, because a lot of people are curious about it because we've never been.
Yep. It was really, really a good interview, and I watched it twice. And then I was looking yesterday. He's got something on John Gotti, I guess his prison tapes. I haven't got a chance to look at that yet, but I will. So, but he's got some that interview. If you haven't watched it, Charlie, I think is worth the watch.
I probably will go over there and watch it. I like when people do regular content. I try to stay out of, and I have been a little dramatized. I am from the beef sector, but I try to stay away from when it's like crazy drama. And I
Yep.
love when people do like content, and
I
to
think
me that's content.
Yep, I think I'm gonna start covering Gypsy Rose. I'm looking at these comments. She was blowing bubbles in her baby's face. And then I'm looking, did you see how she set up the camera, hit record, and filmed herself holding a screaming baby?
See, that's what worries me. It worries me with her.
It's on Chantel's channel. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch Miss Chantel's channel because I'm going to tell you something. I've been seeing where you've been sharing some of her stuff, and I'm like, Miss Chantel seemed like she got all the good information.
Yeah, she does. She has some really, really good videos. Okay, she just posted one about Nick a few minutes ago. Nick about Gypsy Rose. I'll have Chantel, I have that same video, girl, with the guy with no feet. I just haven't posted it. But this is a different one. He came across my TikTok too.
I am subscribed. I was just making sure.
I don't see the video with her blowing bubbles. Well, maybe I'm on shorts. Let me look at videos. Chantel gets a lot of good ones. I'll have to find it and take a look at it. But she does. She gets a lot of good ones. She really, really does. And I'll be like, wait a minute, who the fuck is this? And then I got to go follow them. Okay, she's recording it now. Okay.
I'm worried about that baby so much so because, like I said, that left her with a lot of mental problems. And when someone has the possibility of reoffending, an innocent child shouldn't be in the mix. And I'm scared, like, what if the father of this baby decides to leave her and she gets upset and takes it out on the child? I'm just worried.
Okay, can I ask you a question since you're here and you don't know any of this stuff? There's a woman that's covering my favorite crackhead, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And her husband committed murder of a woman, and he's supposed to be serving life in prison, but she says that he's reformed. And then I see where she herself was trying to steal $157 worth of groceries out of Walmart, but she's talking about everybody else. Then there's this other woman that's supposed to be part of awareness that was taking money on the back end from people, but she's complaining about this woman online scamming and getting money out of people by,
nefarious means.
Yes.
Here's
Hi,
my thing.
Grumpy.
Hey, Mr.
Hi,
Grump.
Grumpy. I hope you're being careful on the road, Grumpy. Are you going to go live today? I love when Grumpy goes live. I love when him and DJ and Josie are up there. I love when
I have Miss Josie's books sitting right here beside me.
Well, I have both books right here. And since my trip is coming up, I'm taking both books. I'm going to read the first one because I have layovers and stuff. So I have them here on the table next to my suitcase, and I'm going to put them in my carry-on, on my carry-on. So yes, I have them right here.
I've gotten through parts of the book. And I got to finish them so I can do the review for Miss Josie. I told her my only constructive criticism that I could give her, because they're very well written, they're unbiased as possible, in my opinion.
Going live today. Okay, hold on. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
What time?
I'm going look. I'm going look so I can share his link. Look, I'm going look right now.
We both super excited. I told her was that to put a glossary in the back with the names and page numbers so you can find the pages easier. Like, so, because when people are talking about people that I don't know, I use Miss Josie's books as like a history lesson, right? Like if I don't know somebody and I don't understand what's being said, right? I can scroll through this book, find that page, read up a little bit, and then I understand more, so I don't feel so lost. And if I had the page numbers, it would be a lot easier because I could go to the back glossary and look through the names and go, that's the page I need right now. Let me go to my page. Okay, here we go. Let me read.
Okay, there's Grumpy's link right there. So
I love Mr. DJ.
So he's going live 3 p.m. for me, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 5 Central. Grumpy is going to go live. Did MRH get his main channel back? Because I know I follow his backup.
I don't know. I've seen him in chats, but I don't know if that was his backup page or his main page. I did see that I got notifications for videos, but like I said, that could still be the backup page.
Yeah, Lady Red, I was just asked yesterday, can I do Heidi After Dark again? I would love to do late night with you. Love it, love it, love it. And I used to be hooked on the Harlequin romance book. Seriously, I would order them and they would come 6 at a time. No problem, Grumpy. I miss your lives. Hi, Glenn Crack.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Miss Heidi, because my grandmother used to get that same box set, and when she would get done reading them, she would give them to me. I know exactly what box sets you're talking about.
Yeah, I follow his backup too. I'm gonna have to. I think I posted it like one time when you dropped it in your chat, Charlie. I posted it. And I followed that one. But Harlequin was my thing from 10th grade to 12th grade. I would get 6 books at a time. I had, and then with the quiver of her lips, girl, I'll be like, oh my, Harlequin was my shit.
I used to read every single one I could get my hands on. It was my thing when I was in high school. My grandmother, both of my grandmothers were readers, right? And they've since passed away, bless their souls. And one of them would get the box sets and do it, and my other one would just buy hers. So I would get books from both sets, and I would just have a stack of books to read. And what I would do was, like, one of my grandmothers would get one kind, one of my grandmothers would get the other, and I would switch it between them. So we all were like passing books back and forth.
Okay, I'm serious. So Harlequin, and then I got into I have the leather bound edition of Agatha Christie with the gilded pages, and my granddaughter now has those. My granddaughter, which she's like 21 now, but I gave them to her. I have the leather bound collection of Agatha Christie. This is how much I read, and like when I'm flying, I'll take one book and I'll read that whole book in between because I can't put it down, especially if it's good. And then on my way back in, I have to buy another book because I need to read. But I don't know if you remember the Stephen King book called The Langoliers.
Yes.
So I was flying from Maryland to California. My dumbass bought The Langoliers. In this book, it's about people on an airplane and they were disappearing. Do you know, I was reading this book and every time I closed my eyes, I jumped up and I was like, I'm looking around.
You read the worst book. You read the worst book to fly with. I swear.
I did not know. The Langoliers, I never forget the name of that damn book. The Langoliers.
I loved
people
that
disappearing off the flight.
And then I also loved the Tommy Knockers. That was actually a good one.
Yeah, I haven't did the After Dark live yet, but they asked me yesterday, could I do Heidi After Dark again? And I was like, that was raunchy.
Hey, dirty mind's a terrible thing to waste. I'm just saying.
But we had so much fun with it. So I think I will. I might start doing Heidi After Dark at least once a month. But Chantel asked you a question, Charlie. She said, would you be interested in doing so? Not Chantel. Lady Red asked the question. She said, would you ladies be interested in late night sexy read? I want to read those Harlequin romance novels that we had when we were teenagers. I think it would be funny and fun. And then she said, Charlie, she said, wait a minute. Then she said, Charlie, what about you? Yes,
Oh,
Heidi,
yes.
it'll be great. So do you want to join?
I don't mind joining. I love reading books, and I'll be the one to read it in the southern way, you know.
That'll be fun. Okay, can somebody drop Lady Red's channel, please? Yes, Charlie will read as well.
I love reading. I have right now 3 or 4 books sitting on my bedside table. Miss Heidi, look into Christine Feehan books, into the Dark series specifically.
Okay.
It's really good. And not only does it have the romance section of it, basically, so it's about the Carpathians people who live in the Carpathian Mountains, which is a real place, if you didn't know.
I know it is. Okay.
And basically, when the males are born, they have one soulmate. If they don't find their soulmate, they stop seeing the color, they stop tasting, being able to taste food, and it's like the they could turn to the darkness and become what we would say as vampires, right? And
Yep.
so
Well, that sounds like
they're
the
in search
Telltale.
of their soulmate. She made up a whole language for it and everything, Miss Heidi. You will love it. Like she
Okay, I will.
Yeah,
I
it's
will.
good. Look up the Dark series.
You gotta send me the link. Well, you let me know which one. But did you read the Telltale series by Anne Rice?
I love Anne Rice.
Oh my God, that was a good series. I remember reading all that whole series. And when Anne Rice writes a book, it's like she transports you to that place and time, and you're walking right along with them. But it's the Telltale series. Oh my God, that was such a great book. I still have it.
I'm actually
I
getting
still
you the
have
link
the
right now.
Telltale series.
I'm getting you the link.
Okay, do that for me. But I'm serious. But Charlie, I'm gonna tell you, the only reason I asked you the other day to mod me, because I was tired of we're not gonna say his name, but coming in there causing issues and won't let it drop. And I just had to put him, I just had to put a stop to it.
Miss Heidi, I'm glad I have you as an extra mod. It's amazing because you're an awesome person and you know what it's like from, a moderator's perspective and a channel holder's perspective.
But you have to be fair to the chat. And people are, you weren't even discussing that. And that happened Monday. You come into a chat and you bringing up old shit. Oh, you've been reading the Silo series. Okay. Yep, the Witching Hour was good. Yeah. So I like book clubs too. I like stuff like that. So I just want to have fun again on YouTube. That's it. I want to have fun. I want to talk about bad people, not fight with YouTubers. I want to talk with bad people. And there's a lot of bad people, Charlie. I think you need to start checking out the TikToks and see the scammers that are there.
Oh, let me tell you another thing that I might start covering because I do a lot of mental health things to like help people with mental health. Do you know how many people are on the TikTok?
Hold on, Charlie. The Crawdad Sings.
I love that.
That is a good one. And they turned it into a movie.
And the movie's good.
Yes, that is good. The Crawdad is Where the Crawdad Sings. Yep, that's it. Where the Crawdad Sings. That is a good book and it's a great movie. I'm sorry, Charlie. Go ahead. I had to acknowledge that.
Oh no, you're right. I love that. Actually, I rented that for my mom because I was on a plane when it first came out, and that's where I watched it. Was on the airplane, the movie, and I was like, "This is a really good movie." And then I realized it was based on the book, and I was like, "I've read that book before." Like my favorite book when I was a kid was Island of the Blue Dolphins. I don't know if you ever read that when you were little, but I loved it. Oh, I love that book, and they turned it into a movie eventually. But
okay, I'm going to see it. But also, my favorite book of all time is The Happy Hooker with Xavier Hollander. That is my favorite book because she was teaching her sister husband how to make love to her sister, and she also screwed a German Shepherd by the pool.
Dang.
Xavier Hollander, The Happy Hooker. Imagine how I still remember the name of that book after 40 years. Xavier Hollander, The Happy Hooker.
That's a crazy book right there. I'm gonna need to read it just to be reading it.
Lady Red, you can take my picture from TikTok. But yeah, so I want to know what the Silo series is about. But I'm telling you, if y'all want a good read, The Happy Hooker by Xavier Hollander. And then the best read was before they turned it into a movie, Waiting to Exhale.
Oh, I love
if
that
you
movie.
have the original book without Whitney Houston and them on the cover, because that one follows along with the movie. If you have the original book, Waiting to Exhale, that book is the best read. Ooh, Hollywood Wives. Ooh. You read The Happy Hooker? Christoph. Am I lying? Am I lying, Christoph? The Happy Hooker is the shit. Her name, it's amazing how I remember her name. Her name is Xavier Hollander. And the name of the book is The Happy Hooker.
Oh, I could get that book too.
I used to hide the book so my mother wouldn't see me read. Matter of fact, I was in 12th grade. I was hiding the book so my mother wouldn't see me read it. Seriously, I was hiding the book so my mother wouldn't catch me reading that book. Although she wouldn't, what the title alone would tell her. It's about a hooker. But still, it's a great book. It's well written. Jackie Collins writes some good ones too. Yes. Yes. And the local Goodwill has some really good books, are old, like bookstores. Like you go into the used, what is it called?
The Goodwill has good books too.
I forgot the section is called Slightly Used. Every one of my books still look brand new. I don't bend my pages.
Don't you bend my pages.
I have bookmarks.
I get really, I'm like crazy about people when they borrow about bending my pages. Don't be bending my pages.
I loaned somebody a book one time and I got it back. It was bent and I was like, what the fuck is this? She had to buy me a new book, even though I wasn't going to read it again, which I did end up reading. But no, if I loan you a book in that condition, I want my book back in that condition.
I get really it's like when I was a kid, I hated when people broke my crayons or messed them up. I'm the same way with my books. Don't you mess?
So my son and I trade books. Well, that's when he was in Houston. My oldest son, I would buy a book like a birthday or whatever because he likes to read. So I would buy a book. He goes, let me get this right. You want to read this book, but you bought it for me. I said, yes, because I know you're going to enjoy it. And then he will call me. Ma, I said, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. As soon as he finished, he was like, okay, you can come get the book. We trade books all the time. We like to read, and he likes a lot of thrillers and fictions, and I do too. So we would trade off books. I still have 3 of his books here that I never gave back to him.
Well, see, I think that's an awesome thing when you can do stuff like this. That's how me and one of my grandmothers, who we didn't have an awesome relationship when I was a kid, but that's how we bonded when I got older, was our love of books.
Ooh. And then, well, here, what people do, because they have like mailboxes and stuff where people put books in that they've already read. And if you go around, so you get the book and then you put a book in, or you read the book and put it back in there. There's a lot of they're like these green little boxes.
We have them.
Yes.
We have them too. I know what you're talking about. They're take a book, give a book kind of thing.
Yes, that's it. Wait a minute. You read... Jen said Jackie Collins is where I learned about third base. Damn, Jen.
I learned mine from Harlequin. I swear I did. And then remember they had the Harlequin, and then they had the history ones. They had the what was that other one? There was another one beside Harlequin. It was just like Harlequin. What was the name of it? Goodness gracious. Because they had the Harlequin romance, they had the Harlequin mysteries, they had the Harlequin history ones.
Yeah. So let me tell you, I interviewed the author. Her name is Emily Liebert, right? She was on New York Times bestseller. She sent me all of her books and she autographed them for me. I loaned someone this book right here. I'm going to show you this book. This is an autographed book from Emily.
Oh, I see the corner. I'd be so mad.
Look, autographed. She wanted to read it. And this is what she did to my book.
Oh, no. We'd be fighting in the streets.
So when I got the book, I told her she needed to order me a new one. This is Emily. She sent me all of her series and she autographed each and every one of them. And this is what this woman did to my book.
I'd be so super upset about that.
I don't know if you remember, but her interview is still on my channel. And she's friends with the Kennedys. And
I like BC Andrews too.
Yep, and she's friends with Marge on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And she was on the show a couple of times with Marge. And when I saw her, I said, oh my God, I know that woman. I reached out to her and she agreed to do the interview with me. But that's what she did to my book. All the other books are still brand new. I will not loan her another book out of that series.
And see, that's me and a friend of mine. Back when the Buffy books came out, we would do that. We would like share books back and forth. Me and my friend. That's the reason I know about the Carpathian books, the Dark series, because a friend of mine used to get them all the time, and I would get different ones, so I would share with her. And we were all very like picky on who could borrow a book.
Yep, V.C. Andrews, Flowers in the Attic. I have read that whole series. That grandmother, I wanted to strangle.
The mama too.
The mama too, but the mama was only listening to her mother. And oh my God, Flowers in the Attic. I'm telling you, I read that whole series for V.C. Andrews. When Petals in the Wind. Let me see, what was the other titles? Flowers in the Attic, Petals in the Wind, and then the brother and sister started having sex. Oh my God. Yes.
She also had other series that were really good too. That a lot of people know. It was Hidden Jewel. She had Heaven, Dark Angel, Fallen Hearts.
I think I have Fallen Hearts, but I didn't know it was a series. So what I do is when I read out of, that's when I get pissed.
When you read out of order.
Yes. Yes. So with Emily, she told me what books to read first. Then she has a few that are standalone books, but she has 3 that was a series, and she told me which one to read first. So, but V.C. Andrews is good. But my thing is Flowers in the Attic. It was Petals in the Wind. And then there was, I think it was, what was it? Garden of Shadows, or was it Heaven? I forgot. Oh, If There Be Thorns. Oh my God, that whole series, I love it. I love it.
Oh, I think they did really good in my opinion. There's Seeds of Yesterday also. The way I'm looking at it, it says
Seeds of
Flowers in the Attic.
I've never heard of that one.
It said Flowers in the Attic is first, Petals on the Wind is next, and then If There Be Thorns, and then
yes,
Seeds
If There Be Thorns, yes.
That's the 4th book is Seeds of Yesterday.
I have to read that. I don't think I have that one. So that's the last one in the series, then, right?
Yeah, because I'm sitting here looking at the series in order. It says Seeds of Yesterday, then Garden of Shadows is after that, and then My Sweet Adriana, and then Heaven, then Dark Angel, then Dawn. It shows all her books in order. If you look
so
up
here's how I read them. I read Flowers in the Attic, Petals in the Wind, If There Be Thorns.
Yeah, I don't think I've read Seeds of Yesterday. I don't believe, but
I
I
don't
will tell
believe,
you.
I've never heard of it. So now I'm going to go look for it. Seeds of Yesterday. I might have to order it off of Amazon, but I will. Now, yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
They made a series through Lifetime that was really good. If you ever get a chance to watch it, they even have the Heaven series, which
Okay.
is a spin-off of Flowers of the Attic, and the Dark Angel. It's basically one of the grandkids, but they literally have like the series in a show, in a movie, on TV, which it's really well done, I would say. Of course,
Okay.
there's some things they left out, you know.
You know
'Cause
what? I'm going to have to go see if they made a series. But look what Jen said. Garden of Shadows is about Kathy and Chris' mom, Corinne. Okay. So, okay. I didn't know. Girl, I got to go catch up on my reading. But Charlie, read Garden of Shadows need to be read first. That's when Corinne was young. See, but they put that out, Jen, after Flowers in the Attic came. So that was taking you back to the beginning of how it all started. But Flowers in the Attic is the first book in the series.
Yep, and it says she wrote that in 1979.
Yep, Flowers in the Attic is the first book in the series. I remember because I was in high school. And the other ones came out to give you a backstory. But If There Be Thorns was good. That was good. And then when the mother actually came back with the new husband and they were trying to hide the kids in the attic. That's how all of that shit started. But anyway, Charlie, I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
You be careful, and we
I will catch I will try to catch your morning lives. I really will. Well, I'll probably be listening to them. But I want to say, I think tomorrow, I got to check with Debbie. I know we might go live later on today, but tomorrow I have to see if I'm able to go live to discuss 90 days or not. It depends on where I'm at. So I have to check with Debbie on that. But I might just do like little uploads on news stories that I'm following and stuff like that. But I won't be able to do a morning live unless I get up at 3:00 in the morning, and that would not work.
Don't do that to yourself. We will be keeping you in our prayers for safe travels and that you have fun, and that because you deserve it, Miss Heidi. You deserve a break. You go live how many times a day, and you do. You know what I'm saying? So take your time and have some fun.
Look, Kristoff. He's look 2 weeks. Look what she said.
You gonna leave us 2 weeks? That's what I felt too. 2 whole weeks. I did the same thing though, Miss Heidi. I took a vacation not too long ago, and I did 2 weeks, and people were like, "Where are you at?" I missed my
I've got
morning
some
coffee.
business. Look, I've got business to attend to. So on the road again. Look,
I can't wait
on
to
the
get
road
on the road
again.
again.
Tonight is the Garrison episode. So more than likely, Debbie and I will be live tomorrow night. But 2 weeks. And I'm saying 2 weeks. I'm not going to say I will try to put a morning live in. I really will. Don't know if I can. But I will try because I'm the time. See, that's going to fuck me up with the different time zones too. So
that's what happened to me, Miss Heidi, because I was on the East Coast and I'm used to being Central. And so, of course, my 8:30 would have been their 9:30, and it just messed up. And I just couldn't figure out how to. So I told everybody before, just like you just did. I told everybody, I said, I don't know when I'm going to be able to live. It's going to be weird. So you're just going to have your notifications on when I can. I don't know, you know. I don't know what we're going to do, West Coast, without Miss Heidi. I don't know what we're going to do.
Y'all going to be good because I told you I might do just some little uploads or a quick, video to keep. But I know I won't be doing morning lives. But if I get up at 3, it'll be 11. Oh, shit. I got to look at the different, how many hours ahead. Fuck. Okay. I'll try my best.
Don't you dare get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go live.
Well, if I get up, I get up. If I don't, I don't.
I will come over and go, no, get your butt some sleep. You know your.
If I do, I do. But if I don't, I don't. But I'm giving you a heads up. Look, I'm giving you a heads up. But Charlie does a great morning coffee. She really does. I enjoy it. Thank you, so done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'm back. I get to see Julie BC. I'll get to see her when I get back, and then I'm off again. On the 27th, I'll be gone. So yeah.
We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you so much, but we know we're going. I know I can speak for myself and probably everybody in chat. We got our notifications on. We ready.
Look, May is gonna be really busy for me, so I'm just June. I'm gonna be more kickback probably. Oh damn! Need Shannon updates on 90 Day. I got you. And Debbie's gonna be going live. She'll be going live. I'll make sure to tell her, but I know I can do evening lives. I can do those. So Monday and Wednesday. I just got to make sure I can go live tomorrow. I know I can do evening lives, but I'll go live on the week. Ooh, no. Well, no, I can go live on the weekends. I can do morning coffee on the weekends.
I'll catch them through the week for you, and you can catch them on the weekends. And when you
yes, I can do morning coffees on probably Saturday or Sunday. I can't do both, but I can do it. I can put in one morning coffee on the weekends. So I'll do that. I can do that. But yeah, I got to look at now we're guessing where I'm going. So, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I hope you have the best time, Miss Heidi.
And then I get to see my sisters in at the end of May. My baby sister's birthday. Well, my other baby sister's birthday. And then we're all gonna be together for that, including some of our friends. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I just want you to have fun and be safe.
I am. I will have a blast. I promise I will. But I gotta go. I don't have shit else to do today. But I know I need to get some shit done. I'm packed. Christoph, thank you. I am packed, but I still have some stuff to do. I did laundry all yesterday. Everything is all done. Bathroom, everything's been, so I got to get some stuff done, but I got to talk to Debbie and see what time she wants to go live today. It's going to be probably after Grumpy's. I'm not going to go live while Grumpy is live, so we'll probably do a Sunday evening live.
Thank you for having Miss Heidi. I'm gonna go ahead and let you close out. And
thank you, Charlie. You're welcome up here anytime. But I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and Lady Red. I think it's gonna be fun to do that series. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I gotta read the southern parts, make it all smexy and go.
But what I wanted to tell you that if you want it, I just asked you to mod me for that day. If you want to remove the wrench, feel free. But I just wanted to keep that chat clean. That's it.
You go keep it, because I love you.
Thank you.
Huggies, Miss Heidi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Charlie. And say hi to your husband and I said hi to your husband.
He told me to tell you hey a while ago when he walked in. And he was like, tell her. I said hi. And then he came in because he asked where, he comes over to support wherever I'm at or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that's just the type of person he is. Thank you, Miss Stowe, for having me, Miss Heidi.
Thank you for coming up. I really appreciate it. And I really enjoyed the conversation, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Bye,
have
Ms.
a great
Heidi.
Sunday, sweetie.
You
Bye. Oh, a travel vlog. You know what? Somebody else suggested that to me as well. I think I might. But the one thing I know I don't want to put on there are, a lot of, if you guys realize, I don't put up a whole lot of my vacation pictures or anything like that. I might show you some street scenes, but my vacations to me has always been, hi James. My vacations to me have always been my time. You know, I'll put up some stuff that's going, hi Wyatt, but I don't put up pictures of anyone I'm with and stuff like that. I just don't do that. So we will definitely see. And then it's going to be a busy month. Yeah, you need to do the grocery vlog. Hi, Wyatt. Nice to see you. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. I really enjoyed the conversation. I want to thank Charlie for coming up because I like having conversations with people and not just my opinion, but I want to hear others' opinions. So when I tell you guys, if you want to come up, just say, hey, you're talking about this. Come on up. I know Wisco Gal has a lot to say on a lot of stuff. Marsha E sends me stuff all the time. I would love to hear you guys come up and talk about it. I really would. Really, really would. Andrea only comes up on TikToks with us. So, because she can't contain her damn self. But anyway, I love you guys. I will talk to you later. And have a great, great day. And I appreciate all of you. And thank you guys for the super chats. Bye, guys.